Hello, my one viewer, and welcome to Saturday Night Non-Vectrex in the Light. Yep, I am playing a random other game now, simply because my Vectrex is on the fritz. I decided to play one of my favorite modern games, and that is called FTL. This had nothing to do with the retro gaming, although the graphics are a tiny bit on the retro side. It's more like they're simple than retro. I thought I'd just play, and if you want to watch, then feel free. Um, Hello, Arturo. Can you hear me okay? And also, are you able to hear the game's music? It is playing music right now. I am not too experienced with doing this. I'm using OBS, which is a streaming application. And I think I'm only recording my microphone and not the game's music. Let me know. Uh, anyway, it's worth watching even without music. It's still a good game. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Arturo, that you hear me. I'm just going to jump in. So, I thought I'd maybe kind of go over this game from the beginning. This is a game called FTL, Faster Than Light. You are navigating a spaceship through 8 different sectors, and in each sector there are several beacons. Each beacon has basically an encounter. An encounter is usually something like a battle. You're battling another enemy ship, or sometimes there's a little text box that pops up with kind of a little scenario that you're involved in. Okay, thanks for clarifying. That's only my voice. Uh, I wonder how I can make that work. Let me just take 1 second to see if I can figure that out. Let's see. Audio input capture. I mean, there's all these options in the streaming thing, but I don't know. They're a little confusing to me. Yeah, my Vectrex is sadly not alive, so I'm playing something non-Vectrex. Can you believe it? Hmm. Okay. I could probably Google or ask my friend who's done this before, but I don't want to waste time. This game doesn't really have spectacular sound effects in the first place. Some people say the music's really good, but I often just play with it off anyway. So I'm actually going to turn off the music so it's less of a distraction to me. And let's go. Yeah, you're going through space doing stuff. I will show the tutorial because why not? Welcome to FTL. You are the captain of a Federation starship on a very important mission. The Federation is currently being torn apart by vicious rebels. Your ship is carrying data vital to the defense of the Federation. You will be traveling through dangerous sectors of the galaxy with the rebel fleet in hot pursuit. Make it to the exit beacon of each sector before the rebels can catch you. Your ship is the Kestrel. Your ship, the Kestrel, is the focus of the typical game view. The circular icons at the bottom of the screen are your ship's primary systems. Systems use power from the reactor, which is this doohickey here. So basically right now in this tutorial, I have 4 energy in my reactor. No, I'm sorry. I have 4 spare reserve energy, and the rest are being used to power the shield, 2 the shield here, 1 to the engine here, 1 to the med bay here, and 1 to the oxygen generator here. These are your ship's subsystems. Unlike systems, they do not require power from the reactor. Hover your mouse over any system icon to get more information about the system. So here we have the shield. It sustains projectile blocking shields. Manning increases shield recharge speed. Basically, if someone shoots you with a laser, the shield blocks it, but the shield gets taken down for a few seconds and it has to recharge. Every 2 energy you put into a shield is like 1 level of hits that you take, sort of. Next we have what? The engines. Engines basically help you dodge. The better your engines are, the better you can dodge enemy shots. And also you need to have some engines, so at least one power in the engines to actually move at all. To like jump from one beacon to the next. The med bay is this room here. If you have your men in there, they get healed as long as you have power in the med bay. And this one's very important because there's no oxygen in space, so you have to generate oxygen. If you don't have power in here, your guys will die pretty quickly. This right here is the hull meter. This meter up here is your ship's life, basically. I'm going to jump on the chat once in a while to see what's going on, so I should have that handy. Okay, so yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to switch between the two easily now. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's only I guess you are true this time. Um, we'll see if more people join. We should get going, but it looks like your engines are currently powered down. So as I was saying a moment ago, if you want to be able to move, you need at least some power in your engines. Left click on the engines. Boom. Now it has one. I can click the button again. Now there's two, or I can right click to take one out. And as you can see, as I add or remove, my reservoir here in the reactor goes up or down accordingly. The tutorial just demonstrated what it looks like when I take damage. The systems can take damage. So up here, your hull takes damage as well as the systems. So now over here we have our red system, and it has to be repaired by a dude. Your crew cannot repair the ship's hull, but they can fix the engines. Select your crew members using the left click. Select multiple by dragging. So what I'm going to do is drag two of these guys, let's say. And I'm going to right click over here. Okay, I misclicked. Now we got it. Hooray. And now they're going to repair it like good little drones. So this is a game from 2012, and it's probably my favorite game in like the last 10 years or so. Anybody who watches this channel knows I definitely play some retro games. I like new games too. Tend to lean towards like indie games, of which this would probably be considered one. But yeah, this is definitely an awesome game. Now it's showing the engines have been repaired, so I'm allowed to add or remove energy to that again. Some systems can be manned by crew members. So this is probably a lot to take in, but once you see the game in action, it's not really that complicated. Okay. By the way, I hope everyone's doing awesome. I spent a few hours today painting my backyard shed, and I got sunburned in the process. So I had a really fun day, as you can tell. And then I had Japanese food for dinner, so that was good. And we had a terrible week at work because there were layoffs. I'm still employed, but it sucks. So I just wanted to say things suck right now. No, not everything sucks, but it's a scary world right now. So we're going to play a game where everybody dies very often to make us feel better. Anyway, some systems can be manned by crew members. What that basically means is the system functions a little more strongly with a guy in the room for the system. So the engines work a little better when there's a guy in the engines room, basically. Oh no, a fire. A fire has broken out in your starboard airlock. You could send your crew members to put it out. So one way you can put them out is you can move your guys into the fire and they spray it with fire extinguishers. However, they get hurt in the process of doing so. So the other thing you can do is what they're suggesting here in the tutorial, and that is you can open the airlock. See, we have these doors that go out into space. Those are the airlocks. And because the oxygen gets sucked out of that room when the airlock is open, that puts out the fire. See, and it's pink reddish pink because there's no oxygen in the room. Now you can make this cascade if you want. You can do this, and now this will turn pink too. You can keep going like that if you want. Obviously, you don't want to have your guys have no oxygen because that makes them rapidly die. And once you close the doors again, the oxygen replenishes gradually before your eyes. Now that your engines are fixed and the fires are out, we should FTL jump to the next location. If you don't currently have a pilot, you should probably send a crewman to the helm. So we have a guy here in the helm. The helm is this symbol here. It looks like, I guess, a fancy chair from an aerial point of view, I guess. And you need a guy in the pilot seat or nobody can move. The ship cannot move. So if I move this guy here, now I cannot move. So that's why you want a guy in here, usually at all times. Each jump consumes one fuel. Without fuel, you'll be stranded and unable to jump. Jumping also requires a crew member in the piloting system and a powered engine system. Click on the jump button to continue. Jump! Might as well jump. So this is the map. You basically jump to any of these connected beacons. You cannot jump farther away, like over here. In each sector, we're on sector 1 here, but in each sector you start towards the left-hand side, and there's an exit somewhere towards the right-hand side. So the goal is to actually get to the exit and jump to the next sector until you've finished all 8 sectors. The issue, though, is that you need to power up your ship by... I mean, we'll probably get to that in the tutorial, but basically you don't want to rush to the exit usually. You want to take your time and gathering resources and building up your weapons and stuff like that. Anyway, for now, we're just going to jump to one of these places. We'll go here. Thanks for joining me, people. I'm playing a little Saturday Night FTL. There were 3 people in here for a moment, and then somebody was like, no, I don't want to see this. They jumped off, so now we're down to 2 again. So every new location will have an event like this. You might have multiple choices available to you at an event. In this example, a weak pirate ship is trying to destroy you. Special blue choices like these are unlocked by having certain upgrades or equipment. They are nearly always a good choice. So basically, an example of that would be there's a fire, and it says you can use your rock band. If you have a rock band, you're immune to the harmful effects of fire. So you could say, well, I'm going to use my rock band to put out the fire, and that choice might appear in blue. But the ordinary choices that are always available are in whites. Okay, you need to power your weapon to fight. So down here they're showing the weapons I have. In this tutorial I have just this one weapon. It's called dual lasers. So I click it to power it up. The weapon will fire when ready. Hold on. It says first I have to left click a powered weapon to arm it, and then target a room in the enemy ship by left clicking on it. I just turned it off for a minute. So yeah, I left clicked it, now it's red, and then I choose where I want to shoot. Oh no, your 2-shot laser cannot penetrate the pirate's level 2 shields, but luckily he can't get through your shields either. Note every 2 powered bars in your shield system nets you 1 more shield. So basically each laser I shoot will knock down 1 shield, and this weapon I have is shooting 2 lasers at a time. So therefore the most I can do is knock out the shield without actually harming the ship. So that's a problem. So this tutorial is being generous and giving me another weapon. It's giving me Artemis missiles. So now I can do the same and arm the missiles. The difference with the missiles is they have a limited amount of ammo. Up here are the number of missiles that I'm equipped with. I have 20. So let's fire up the missiles. And it's telling me to damage the shield with the missiles. The cool thing about missiles is they go through shields. So the trade-off is they're really powerful because they go through shields, but they cost some kind of, finite amount of ammo essentially. So I'm going to blast them another time. Then I'm going to shoot with the laser. Bam, it's dead. You destroyed the pirate ship. As salvage, you gain from left to right some fuel, missiles, scrap, and another weapon. Note the reward resource icons correspond to your reserves along the top of the screen. So this is basically saying I get 1 fuel, which will be added up here, 3 missiles, which will be added up here to my missile reserves, and 100 scrap. This is scrap. Scrap is money in this game. Every time you destroy a ship, or many of the special events will give you scrap. Anytime you destroy a ship, you get scrap from it, and you use it like money. You encounter stores throughout the game, and you spend scrap to buy weapons. You can also spend scrap to upgrade your systems, like your shields and such, your reactor. You'll notice as enemy systems are damaged or destroyed, their icons turn orange or red, respectively. Repeatedly attacking a red system will do no additional damage to the system, but it'll still damage the hull, which is basically the health bar for a ship. Once you reduce the ship's hull to 0, it explodes. If you need a reminder for what each enemy system icon does, you can mouse over the green symbols along the bottom of the target box. Choose your targets wisely, though weapons and shields often make good choices. Now defeat the pirate. Weapons or drones are added to your cargo. I guess I already defeated the pirate. I went ahead of myself. Weapons or drones are added to their cargo if there is more room in the respective system. So what this is showing basically is up here are the weapons I have armed. And this one I could not fit into my 2 slots. So it's in the cargo. So I'm just carrying it along. Not usable at this time. I can only use 2 weapons at a time. Okay, what's it asking me to do? Click and drag a new halberd beam over the Artemis to swap them. Then click accept. All right. Oops, your weapon system max power 2 is not upgraded enough to support your new weapon. I know this sounds very complicated, but the game you kind of just fly through once you're actually playing. Weapon system is not upgraded enough to support your new system. Power requirement 3. So basically the issue is here. This is my weapon system that the arrow is pointing to. It can only handle 2 power, whereas this weapon, the dual laser, takes 1 power, and the halberd beam takes 3 power. So to use both at once, I need 4 power over here in the weapon system. Or if I had just 3 power in the weapon system, I could power the halberd beam, but not the dual lasers. So here it's going to have to be upgraded probably in the tutorial. So it's saying to add some, what's it saying? This is the upgrade screen. You can see detailed info about your systems and upgrade them by spending scrap. You can also upgrade your reactor at the bottom of the menu, which is important for keeping everything fully powered. So it's telling me what to do. Left click the weapon system to upgrade it. Should I do 2 or only 1? I think I need to do 2 so I can use both the laser and the halberd. I'm surprised the tutorial doesn't tell me exactly how much to do. I guess that makes sense. I do 2 to the weapon system, and I add 2 to the power bars here in the reactor. And now I can power the new weapon. Ta-da! All you have to do is click on it. So now I have both of my weapons fully powered. Thank you for joining me. This is Saturday night, not Vectrex in the dark, with your host, Mark W. And the reason I'm not playing Vectrex is because my Vectrex is on the fritz. I have ordered capacitors. There's a cap kit from, there's a site called Console 5. This is a business in which they just sell all kinds of little parts and stuff for old console systems, I guess. and they have a pack of all the capacitors you need to replace on your Vectrex. So I ordered that. It's coming Monday. And then I have to go through the process of actually removing 30 plus capacitors. I believe it's 30 plus. Removing them, sucking the solder out, soldering the new one. It's going to take a while. I imagine it's going to be at least 5 minutes per capacitor, probably more because I'm kind of a newbie at it. Or maybe I'll be slow at it at first and then I'll go faster. Anyway, it's going to be a while. I don't expect it to. I don't expect to be done by next week either. So I figured I would just play something else in the meantime. So here we are playing FTL, faster than light. All right. Okay, final tip, you can rearrange your weapons. It's not too important usually. When you get really expert level, there's a subtle difference. Basically, yeah, it says right here, if your weapon system is damaged, this order determines the order they are depowered from right to left. Basically, the ones toward the left get priority for the power in the weapon system. So if something makes you lose your power, if I lost power right now because something shot me, the halberd beam would go out and the dual lasers would still work. That's it for the basics. Good luck out there. Okay, now let's jump into it. So I have played this game quite a bit and I've unlocked every ship that's available. Okay, question from the Peanut Gallery. Arturo, also known as Nitin Ichimusai, asks, are you limited to only Adnan, Tom, and Mona, or can you get more people? So here's the thing, you can actually get more people, and you can actually get different kinds of aliens as well. There are several of them. I could probably name them all. There are mantises. Mantises are, like praying mantis, giant praying mantis people. They're really good at fighting. There are rockmen. There are these energy beings called the Zoltans. There are slug creatures. The slugs are telepathic, so they can see in areas where you otherwise wouldn't be able to. And there's also the crystal men that you can unlock later. I've unlocked everything. Now, the starting arrangement of your crew depends on the ship that you choose. So, for example, this is the basic Kestrel ship. It starts with 3 humans, just as we see in the tutorial. I will just use that one. But I've actually unlocked multiple layouts for this ship. So this is a different one, a different version of the same ship, basically. This one has, over here, you can see the Mantis guy and the Zoltan, which is the energy being I mentioned a second ago. And we have 2 humans as well. There's also a layout C. Oh, I did not enable the advanced edition. Wait a minute, did that? Oh, we can just do this here. You know what? I'm going to start with disabled because I'm kind of just demonstrating the game. Basically, there's an advanced edition. It was like a free expansion that they released at some point. It didn't come with the game originally, but like maybe 3 or 4 years into the life of the game, they said, here's a free expansion, enjoy. So there's some features we're going to have disabled, but this is probably enough to take in as is if this game is new to you. But I've also unlocked other ships. This one is called the Taurus. Oh yeah, I forgot these robot guys. They're called NGs. They're good at repairing. This is the Osprey, the Adjudicator. This is a Zoltan ship. They have all these energy guys, the Zoltans. This is the Gila monster. These are mantises, basically. They're all mantises on the ship except for this one robot. But I am going to just start with the simple ship, the Kestrel, layout A. And if you notice, the names are actually randomly generated. So this guy's name is Fen. This one is Dangler. This one is Scott Kletzky. Let's give them new names. This guy is going to be Mark W. I'll spell it like that. I lost my mouse cursor though. Okay, I'll hit enter. There we go. This guy can be Rob Bob. And this guy's name This guy is going to be Arturo Leoncito. I can't fit all. I was going to put your last name too. We're just going to go with Leoncito. Okay, we got Mark W, Rob Bob, and Leoncito. And I'm going to play the easy difficulty. So the biggest difference between the difficulty levels is how much money you get. And again, the money is called scrap in this game. So when you play easy, you just get tons of scrap. And since I want to play kind of casually right now and just kind of demonstrate the game, I'm going to play on easy. Humans are uninterested. Did I say that, or did it say that? That's true. Skills improve slightly faster though, so that's their bonus. Each crew member has skills like piloting and weapons, repairing. They improve at them faster apparently. I didn't even know that actually that they did that. I played this game tons, but I didn't know that they improve slightly faster. Okay, why don't we start? All right. So the data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next. But get to the exit before the pursuing Rebel fleet can catch up. Tip: Rebel fleet. The Rebel fleet, represented by the red circle on the map, moves closer to your position every time you jump. Certain events can slow or speed their movement. So here we are. We're basically at a beacon where nothing's happening. So all we really have to do is jump. Maybe we want to power up some stuff here. We have 3 spare energy or power, whatever you call it. And I can put the 3 into the Artemis missile and it's burst laser 2. If you mouse over here, you can see it has 3 shots per charge, which is pretty powerful. So basically my strategy will be, in general, on these early enemy ships, I will probably just shoot them with the laser. And 3 shots will probably take out their shield of 1, plus with 2 excess to damage a system and inflict hull damage. Remember, the hull again is like their health bar. But you want to take out their systems too. So if you take out their weapons, they're not going to be able to shoot you. So weapons is usually a great system to take out as much as possible in general. Hello, Rob Bob. Hey, Rob Bob. Thanks for joining. I am typing in the chat. That's why I'm sounding so silly as I announce what I'm typing. What it was telling me here, though, in the intro was that there's going to be a red circle, and that is the bad guy fleet. The Federation fleet, or Rebel fleet. Is Federation good or bad in this game? Federation is good, and the Rebels are bad, which is kind of funny because in most kind of sci-fi stories, for example, Star Wars, it's the evil empire that's the bad guy, and the Rebels are the scrappy young good guys who are trying to, end the oppression or whatever. But in this one, you're the Federation. So, what I was going to say was there's kind of a red semicircle that's going to close in on me from the left as I move right. So if I take too long and I dilly-dally, they're going to catch up to me and I have to fight them, and there will be an endless number of ships as long as I'm in their reach. I'll have to fight them constantly. Anyway, so that's what kind of pressures you to move forward, which is cool. That's true. Good and bad is a matter of perspective. All right, so as you can see here, there's a distress call here. Someone might need help. That just means there's usually some kind of event there. But before we do that, I actually want to change something in my config quickly. Don't remember where that is. Yeah, I like to have the right-click modifier be my command key. I'm using a Mac. And so basically, instead of right-clicking, I just like to hit command and click. So I just wanted to change that quickly. Palpatine was right. Okay. Thanks, Arturo, for that wisdom. All right, so let's go to our first beacon. We'll go to the distress beacon. I apologize for no in-game sound. I don't know how to merge the in-game sound with my microphone, basically. So we don't have it for now. I'll figure it out another time, perhaps. It'll probably take me 10 minutes of fiddling to get it right. Anyway, your cockpit lights up with warning signals. You are being targeted by a nearby ship. The distress call was a lure to attract unwitting ships into weapons range. You prepare for a fight. By the way, when I play by myself, I most of these messages are just kind of meaningless flavor, so I just kind of don't even read them, and I just hit continue and fight. Some of them are fun to read, though. So anyway, one key, one very important thing to do in this game is pause the game. This is a real-time game. However, you can issue any orders you want while the game is paused. So you can say, I'm going to take this burst laser and take my time deciding which room on the enemy ship I want to target. Maybe I'll just go for the weapons right away. So it's important to pause because that gives you time to decide what you want to do. It's not cheating, by the way. The game was designed to be like this. Some players, for example, there was one player I saw on Twitch who he made it kind of like an achievement or a thing to brag about that he played without pausing. So he plays like the real time style, which kind of tremendously raises the difficulty because you have to click around very quickly, make decisions very quickly. And also while it's paused, you can adjust the system's power. I usually take one off the medical because you don't need the medical until, well, you need it. So instead, I have taken that one energy and put it into engines. And as I said earlier, the missiles take a finite number of ammo, and I only have 8 missiles, so I'm not going to use the missiles unless I feel like I have to. So let's shoot the burst laser, which is 3 shots at the weapons right here. Hopefully what will happen is I'll take out 1 shield and then do 2 damage to the weapons. Now some shots can miss. Every shot has a percentage chance of missing. When shots come at me, they're going to have a 20% chance of missing because my engine level is at 2 basically, and I have a guy manning it. Basically that all adds up. I don't know the math exactly offhand or the formula, but it comes to 20% evasion. So 20% of shots are going to miss me basically. So let's begin and start shooting. They have a drone on me, by the way. This guy here is a drone. This particular drone, it shoots a beam at me. The beams can be nasty if your shields are down. This one, actually, this is kind of funny. This ship has a beam mounted over here too. So all it can do is beam me. The beams don't damage shields. They don't get through shields. Therefore, this ship is completely harmless to me. And let's pause. I have just inflicted damage on its weapon system. So this weapon is disabled, although it doesn't really matter because, again, it can't really hurt me. So this is just, this is just taking candy from a baby, I guess. It doesn't really matter what I shoot at, which system I shoot at. It doesn't matter if I disable the drone. This system right here is a drone system. If I shoot that, it'll disable this guy who's trying to zap me. I could have fun and shoot out their oxygen, and the crew members will suffocate. But in reality, they will probably repair it before they suffocate. So really, I just kind of shoot and wait and see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. I see there's 5 people now, almost as good as my Vectrex viewership. So yeah, for those who've just joined, this is my stream on which I usually play Vectrex live, but my Vectrex is on the fritz, so I thought I would play one of my favorite games that's totally unrelated to Vectrex, and that is FTL. By the way, there's an auto fire button. If you can't be bothered to keep clicking after every shot, you just kind of leave auto fire on. So I'm going to do that because this is no there's no danger here. Once again, they send you a message. Your ship is surprisingly well equipped. Please take a take this and learn. So many of the enemy ships will surrender um, if they get heavily damaged. Um, so I'm a little bit rusty in this game as far as remembering every tiny detail. It might not seem like that, but I'm trying to remember right now if it's usually worth surrendering. I think the general idea is if you kill the enemy, you get more scrap, which is this last resource here. But I think you tend to get more of these other things like fuel and missiles if you accept their surrender. Generally, when I'm playing this game very seriously, I try to maximize my scrap harvesting as much as humanly possible. So I usually go with not accepting the surrender and just killing them, which is not very kosher or very moral, perhaps. But who cares? It's a computer game. And besides, these are the rebel scum. No, actually, this guy is a random pirate. He's not even associated with the rebels. He says up here he's a pirate rigger. Ta-da! They were trying to rob us. Yeah, rob us. Yes, that's right. So yeah, I guess I can kill them without having a bad conscience. So as you can see, I got more scrap. I got 23 instead of 12, but I still got the one fuel, and I got a drone part instead of two missiles, I believe it was. Okay, I'm going to pause for just a moment, and I'm going to just grab some water quick. So please bear with me. Sorry, I need to check a message I got real quick. Sorry about that. So my mic is still on as I walk to the kitchen. You'll probably hear me getting and or drinking water. So yeah, by the way, I like to pay attention to the chat in YouTube. If you are watching the embedded YouTube, you won't see the chat, but if you click on the link, if assuming you're not on like a Roku or whatever, you can get the full page YouTube experience, and you'll have the chat window. I do like to chat, and feel free to ask questions. Or normally I take requests because I'm usually playing like several different Vectrex games at once in one session. But I'm only going to play one game this session because this one takes a long time. We're already like 47 minutes in, roughly. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, in the pilot seat we have myself, Mark W. Rob Bob is on the engine, and Leoncito is our weapons guy. Are you down with are you up for the task, Leoncito, to shoot the enemies? So Leoncito is a nickname for my colleague Arturo, who is most my most active viewer on my stream, pretty much. So what do you have to say, Arturo? It's only fair those who live by the sword ought to die by the sword. Yeah, you can't disagree there, I guess. Okay, my click is not functioning. That's disturbing. Oh, there it goes. I accidentally opened all my doors, though. Hold on one second. Oh, shit. All right, we're good. Okay, so because I accidentally opened my doors, you can see it's a little bit pinkish, which means it's low on oxygen. I'm just going to wait for that to replenish while I have some delicious refrigerator water. Refrigerator water. The best. So, yeah. Arturo is up for the task. That's good. I want you to shoot things. All right. I think I'm just going to go, even though it's still a little pink, because I'm getting bored of sitting here. All right. So, as you can see here, we have a few different options of where we want to jump to next. Um, It's usually not a good idea to go backwards to the left. One thing I often try to do is explore these nebula because in the nebula, there's definitely some problems that happen in the nebula sometimes, but it makes the pursuing fleet come at you slower, so you get to maximize your jumps if you go through the nebula usually. So actually, another thing that's good to do is you kind of plan out your path in advance or your likely path. Things might change as you see. Maybe you see a star, so maybe I'll jump here, and then I see a star over here. And I have to consider, well, do I really want to go to that store? In which case, I may deviate from my planned path. But what I'll probably do is go like maybe here, 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 here. This might be a little bit too ambitious, but let's see how it goes. I do kind of like to adjust on the fly as I see the pursuing fleet appear. Heyo, Brian. Brian Wynn is my brother. He is Brian W. The nearby planet shows a. I guess it's kind of funny how when I play this automatically, I just kind of skip these messages. So I'm like, did I ever read this before? I probably did, but it's like I just get so used to automatically skipping that, that I kind of don't even remember it. Anyway, the nearby planet shows sign of habitation and great beauty. A rudimentary automated planetary defense system is looping its message into space. Warning, quarantine level 5 in effect under FHA Act 22, Article 11.2. Warning, quarantine level 5, etc., 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 etc. Okay, so that meant absolutely nothing. That planet is like us. Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, and I think I got flipped off by Brian. And yeah, very classy Earth-like. Okay, so let's see. Distress. I usually head towards the distress signals. Um, Usually more stuff is just happening there. I don't think there's any correlation between good or bad, but there's just fewer quiet, nothing happens kind of uh, beacons, basically. So let's jump here. Maybe I'll go down here, here. What I say I was going to do, I actually said I was going to go this way. We could go. This actual planning your path can be very important because when you screw it up, you die. I have actually sometimes like these are randomly generated maps, right? So sometimes you might go, yeah, I'll go up here, then I'll go up there, and then maybe I'll go down after that. And if you don't plan carefully, that last thing, maybe I'll just go down after that, turns out to be a dead end, and you have to backtrack, and then the fleet catches up with you, and you're in trouble. So anyway, maybe I'll jump here, 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 then head east. Let's do that. All right. Is there really an east in space? Scans, or is there even a right in space at all? Scans reveal a large asteroid field nearby. Short-range scanners may discover useful materials while we wait for the FTL to recharge. Okay, so this is telling you basically there's a risk here, but we might be able to get some resources if we take the risk. So I usually take the risk unless I'm like really close to death. Even then, I might just do it anyway. So let's do it. One, explore the asteroid field. Okay, the gamble did not pay off. We took 5 damage to the hull. As you can see up here, we are now damaged. Oh, okay. We got to pause because we have things happening. We have fires in the med bay, and the Okay, enjoy your Diablo, Brian. See you later. Um, yeah. So the weapon system is damaged, but that's not a concern right now because we're not in the middle of a fight, basically. But the fire is a concern. So what we'll probably do, so basically, again, there's 2 ways we can handle this. We can send in guys to repair and to put out the fire with their fire extinguishers, or we could just suck out the oxygen. I am going to lean towards sucking out the oxygen. there is one dangerous event that could eventuality that could happen in this case, and that is the doors. This room here is the door system subsystem, and if the doors get taken out, I cannot open and close the doors. So what could potentially happen is I have several of these rooms lacking oxygen completely, and the fire spreading around here possibly, and at the same time I cannot control the doors. So that would be kind of a worst case scenario. So what I'm going to do is just, but I've played this game enough, I know how it usually goes. I think it'll be okay if I just suck out tons of oxygen like this. So I'm kind of approaching it from both angles, top and the bottom, and let's see if it works. Okay, this should work. We can see one extra fire has spread, two extra has spread, but now they're all disappearing because the oxygen was basically zero at that point. And now we can close all the doors. There's a hotkey for it. I don't remember if it's Z or X ever though. Maybe it says here, yeah. Z is to open and X is to close. So we're going to close all doors. And now we just wait for the oxygen to replenish. Okay, now it's safe to walk in the room even though the oxygen is not fully replenished. And we're going to send Leoncito to repair the med bay, which is damaged. One thing I don't like about this game is sometimes you're in situations like this where you're just sitting there waiting and there's no danger to you possible, but you sit there waiting for something to happen, your repairs to happen, your oxygen to replenish. So you just sit there staring. Okay, I'll just sit here and have a sip of my refrigerator water. And it's usually wise. So like right now the oxygen is at 87%. So I might say that's good enough. Let's just go. But if you're really trying to maximize your chances of playing well, you should wait until it's at 100. But that said, I'm going to tell you a little trick that I like to do is I actually, if I have rooms that serve no purpose but to let oxygen in, or to let oxygen out, I should say, I just kind of leave them like this usually. That way the oxygen gets sucked out faster in the subsequent rooms. So like this one will get sucked out faster because I had this one open. But now I have to wait again because I was demonstrating that. Yes, sure, send Leoncito to the area where the oxygen, not that the oxygen had replenished Leoncito. So it was just the med bay needed repairs. I would never do that to you unless I had no other choice. But I'll send Rob Bob first in that case. Okay, so I'm just going to go because I have an audience. That's my excuse for being impatient. But as you can see, this room here is a little bit pinkish, so it's not fully replenished. But yeah, it does look weird, but I usually do this kind of strategy where I leave these rooms here completely out of oxygen. The only downside to that I see is it makes it harder to tell by looking at this number here if you're fully replenished because you don't really know offhand usually what it should be. Like basically in this configuration, I should have 100% minus whatever this one's worth, minus whatever this one's worth, minus whatever this one's worth in oxygen. So I think that's 82%. Anyway, I'm just kind of getting into details. So in this game, there is a lot of very like tactical, nitpicky detail. Like you think about how can I optimize this system and that one and this situation? Just it's good for nerds like me. All right, so Rob Bob says send yourself. Okay, he doesn't want me to sacrifice him. And you wonder why people join the rebels. All right, fair enough. Okay, let's keep going. So where did I say I was going to go to this one next? I think I can go to this, this. Remember, every time I'm in these nebula beacons, this approaching fleet is going to be at half speed. So that's why I try to jump through them as much as possible. The downside to the nebulas is sometimes you have encounters there where you are low on power because the nebulas. I'm trying to think of the explanation. Their electrical storms or whatever screw up your power. By the way, I have 53 scrap now, and at any time I can click here and do some upgrades. The guy I used to work with, he was like insanely good at this game, and he had a rule of thumb is you always want to get the shield up to level 4 before leaving the first sector, and that seems like a decent rule of thumb. But here's the thing, you want to plan in advance when you spend. I can spend 50 right now. If you look to the right here, I can't indicate with the mouse, but I can leave the mouse over here, and if you look toward the right, if you see where it says 2 shield barriers. So I have to buy 2 levels of the shield to get to shoot 2 shield barriers. The first level costs 20, the second costs 30. Then on top of that, I have to have enough power in my reactor to fill that up with power. So I like to do the purchasing all at once. I would spend the 50 for the 2 levels of the shield, plus the 2 power bars here, which would be probably 20 each. I say probably because even though it says 20 right here, there is a gradual increase in each power bar as you progress. So at first it's 20, and then you hit a certain point, it's 25, then it hits 30, and I always forget where that exact delineation is, unfortunately. It would be cool if it was a little clearer somehow in the UI that this one costs 20 and the next is 25 or whatever. But anyway, I guess my point is I like to spend all the money at once because there's no use in having the extra shield levels if I can't actually power them. So I'd rather save all that money, or scrap actually, and then in case something else comes along in the meantime, that's a better thing, like a really cool weapon I find at a store, I'll have the scrap in that moment to spend, and then I'll have to put off the shields for another day. But at least, the point is there's no point in spending money if you don't get any value out of it. So it's better to hold on to the money in those cases. What do we have? Also, your sensors turn off. I don't know what you were telling me, Rob. Arthur says you don't need shield if you have the right weapons. I don't know what that means either. You mean if you kill them fast enough, you don't have to worry about getting hit? Okay, I can see that. All right, so yeah, so so I like to do what I like to do is come up with some math here. Oops, okay. That is actually I didn't mean to do that, but remember I was saying you can't see the cost of power bars in the future, like subsequent power bars. What you can do is I just clicked one purchase and my scrap went down by 20, but I can undo that purchase. However, I can see by clicking the purchase that the next power bar is still going to cost me 20, not 25. So this lets me do some math. I can think, well, it's 40 for the power bars and 50 for the shields that I want. So once I get 90 scrap, I will buy the full shebang of the shield upgrades. And that's the math lesson for today, I guess. In the nebula, yes, your sensors can get knocked out in the nebula. That's correct, Rob Bob. By the way, Rob Bob is so good at this game. I have a photo of him playing, well, in front of the victory screen of this game when he was about 5 years old, maybe 6, maybe 7, somewhere in that range. And he's on the victory screen and he's smiling for the camera. However, I was kind of coaching him the whole time, to be fair, but he did do a good job. All right, so anyway, let's move on. Let's keep going. I said I was going to go here, I think. An advanced Rebel automated ship remains stationed near a small Rebel space station. Sensors indicate it's a storage vessel for military goods. I can 1 attack the automated ship to get to the storage cast, or 2 avoid provoking the ship, So I'm, you have the choice to avoid things, avoid danger. I almost never do that, except in a couple of specific circumstances. But yeah, we're going to attack it. So let's pause for a moment. This is an automated ship. There's a couple of attributes of an automated ship that are worth mentioning. One is they have no crew. Because they have no crew, well, I haven't really talked about what crew actually do on the enemy ship, but it's kind of similar to your ship in a sense. They repair things, they man the systems, but they also don't have oxygen on these ships because they're automated. This particular automated scout doesn't even have a shield, so it's going to be easy pickings. However, it does have some weapons. It has an ion and a laser. I kind of wish this game had mouse over for these because it kind of makes you have to memorize these sort of esoteric drawings of the weapons. And even though I played this game a lot, I don't remember the specific kind of ion or the specific laser. Like there are some ions that are really nasty because they're rapid fire. What the ions do is they basically depower things. They shoot your shield, and if your shield is up, and that depowers your shield for longer than it otherwise would have from a regular laser or other shot like that. But some of those ions they shoot rapid 1, 2, 3, and they do a lot of disruption. They disrupt your systems as well, not just the shield. Okay, let's see what the chat's saying. Arturo says they were so kind to bring us supplies. You can't be rude and not go take them. Okay. And Roundup says some weapons look the same. I think that is correct, yes. Anyway, so this guy could be dangerous if it hits us, taking out our shield for a while with the ion, and the laser does some damage. I think we'll be okay, though, just shooting the weapons with our burst laser. They have no shield, so it should go down pretty quickly. Oh, I got hit. So I took a little damage, and my doors are busted. Should not be an issue for the moment. I'll go send Leoncito to repair it after the battle. Ta-da! We got 27 scrap for the broken ship, and we can investigate the station as well. The station is a storage site for various resources. You salvage everything possible. 4 fuel, 3 missiles, 11 scrap. Okay, go ahead, Leoncito. I usually like to have the same crew member repair things because, see, if you put your mouse over one of these crew members, you see their skills. There's different areas. There's piloting skill, engines, shield, weapons, repair, and combat. Combat is for actually when, by the way, you could actually board your other ships or they can board you and you have hand-to-hand combat. But we'll see that later probably. So repair skill is basically the more you, well, for all these skills, the more you do the particular skill. Like if you're the piloting, you will increase in your piloting skill over time. If you send the same guy to repair, you'll get to focus your repair advancement on that one guy, and then he'll get better. If you kind of randomly choose a guy, then the repair advancement will be spread across the ball, and then nobody's good essentially. That's how I play. You could spread it out if you wanted to, and you could make a case for, well, eventually I'll have some pretty good guys that are everywhere on my ship, as opposed to one guy who's really good who might die. You can actually have your crew members die, by the way. They each have their health meter over here. If you get shot, like say a laser shoots this room right here, then Leoncito would also get hurt. Also, the fire damages them, and hand-to-hand combat damages them. Okay, so next up, by the way, we have 91 scrap, and since we have nothing else immediately, obvious that we want to spend the scrap on, I'm going to do that upgrade that I was talking about. So now we have 2 shield barriers and enough power for it. Which basically means nobody's going to hurt us in this sector and probably the next. It can happen, but through normal means, we'll say, normal blasting lasers and stuff. Okay, this is kind of a almost a joke or a meme among the FTL community. It's this giant alien spiders. So I'll read the text and then tell you why it's kind of a joke. You find a number of ships fleeing from a small space station. You hail them, asking what's wrong. Help, we're being overrun by some sort of giant alien spiders. Send the crew to help. Giant alien spiders are no joke. Or leave them alone. So as I said earlier, I like to take dangerous choices because usually it's like, well, you fight a combat and that's how you develop. You got to take risks and usually the risks aren't that terrible. You might get damaged a little, but you get some rewards, that kind of thing. But the alien spiders are no joke. As Rob Bob is saying, don't do it. And well, basically what it is you get a flip of a coin. You either lose a crew member, he's dead, he's gone forever, or you get something. I always remember what it is. You get some resources and scrap, a moderate amount of them. And sometimes when I have played this game in the past, I would just cheat. I'll tell you how I cheated. I'm going to play honestly now, but you can cheat by if something bad happens, you kill the process at your operating system level. So here on Mac OS, which is Unix based, I would use the PS command to identify the PID process ID, and then I would do kill dash 9 process ID, and then load the game again, and I can go back. I'm not going to do that though. So basically, unless I have a full crew and I don't care about one or two guys or three guys even, I'll just not encounter the alien spiders. You can't risk fighting some unknown alien on every backwater station you come across. You prepare to jump. All right, so I was wussy and avoided the alien spiders. But yeah, it's kind of a joke in the community because it's like just ridiculous how many times people just say, "Yeah, I'll risk it," and then they're like, "Oh, what have I done? I have lost poor Mark W. or I've lost poor Rob Bob or Nancy." So when you have just three guys on your crew, you don't want to lose one. If I had the full roster of 8, I might have hit it anyway, and I still probably would have kicked myself if I lost one, but maybe a little bit less hard. I would have kicked myself softly. Okay, so now we're in a nebula. As Rob Bob mentioned, my sensor system is on the fritz in this nebula. Well, it's not always the case, but as you can see here, for this particular event, it is the case. So that just means, okay, so Rob Bob is saying goodnight. I will say goodnight. Good night, Rob Bob. He says he has to go to bed. And I say, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, it is a little late for a child to be up. Um, anyway, so what does the sensor being out mean? Excuse me. So basically, depending on your level of sensor, you can see more stuff on the enemy ship. Trying to remember if sensors actually help on your own ship. There are situations where you can't see some stuff going on your ship. For some reason, I can't remember offhand. Anyway, what what do level 1 sensors do? Basically, well, there's less stuff we can see. If you have higher level of sensors, you can see all the crew on the other ship running around and stuff. And if you have even the highest level, you can see all their weapons charging up, and so you can predict at the moment at which they're going to fire, stuff like that. Anyway, right now it's not a big deal though. So anyway, the text says, a Mantis ship lost in the storm hails you. Sensors are out. We have no local telemetry. We will take yours. You detect a power increase in their weapons systems. Yeah, it's a trap. All right, let's hit this and hit space right away. We have some big lasers. What are those called? Burst lasers or hull? I don't know. I'm a little rusty in this game. I played this so much, but it's been about a year probably since I last played, so Still forgetting things. Um, okay, so the beam and the laser. Again, we're probably in a situation where we're okay because this thing probably only shoots once, so it'll take out one level of shield. Then the beam cannot get through the second shield. So he's kind of a sitting duck, I suspect. Oh, okay. So I said oh for a second because I got scared. I saw these doors opening and closing on their ship. Usually when you see that, it means the crew are running through the doors to head over to a teleporter to board onto my ship, but I can see there's no teleporter system on their ship. I guess they usually just run around at the very start of a battle anyway. Okay, so we have the stronger laser that I can't remember the name of hit me, and basically it took out one level of shield. So now this beam will probably fire and do nothing. So I'm going to sit back and watch again. Ta-da! Now these fights do get harder. It's just so far they've been pretty easy. In fact, they can get insanely hard eventually. Ta-da! It's dead. Okay, we got 2 missiles, 1 drone part, and 23 scrap. By the way, I haven't talked about drones much, but if you remember in the first battle, there was a drone from the enemy drone, that was firing a beam, a useless beam, a harmless beam. Um, so that's what a drone is. You can get them yourself basically, and every time you deploy one of them, you have to spend one of these drone parts. I have 3 of them. I now have 4 of them actually. Let's keep going through the nebula. So I'm going to go here, 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 here. I think that's the plan. Okay, you're going to see some hand-to-hand combat in a moment. You see a small station nearby and feel the shudder of shots ringing through the ship. You can't be sure without sensors, but it seems there may be intruders on the ship. Yeah, this is where sensors help. Okay, yeah. If you have no sensors, you cannot see the rooms on your own ship in which you do not have a crew member. So right now, I have been boarded by some bad guys. The way I can find out where some of them are is by looking at this punching symbol. It's red punching. Basically, that means there's a guy or guys in the sensor room right now bashing it. One good strategy that's nice and easy and effective when boarders come onto your ship is you suck out all the oxygen except in the med bay. And then you run your crew all to the med bay. The med bay can hold 3 people. I happen to have 3 people. And on top of that, well, that's basically all the strategy. But what that does is the oxygen, the lack of oxygen actually, in all the other rooms will hurt the bad guys who will kind of run in a panic to a room that does have oxygen while they're being hurt. So I'll get an edge on them because their life will be depleted a little bit. But also because my guys are in the med bay. The med bay, which will be powered right now, will constantly heal my guys as they're fighting. So it's kind of, there's no way they can catch up to me in that way. So I'm gonna open all doors on the ship except these ones. So they're gonna stay closed to keep in some oxygen. And let's roll. I'm gonna unpause and see what happens. Watch. So there was an intruder there. They're all gonna come to this med bay to find some oxygen. Here they are. And my guys are getting healed. If I pause it for a minute, you probably can't see too well. There's little green symbols meaning my guys are getting healed. I think they're kind of like little plus signs. And you're going to watch these guys duke it out with us. as you can see, their life meters are getting very low, and now they're dead. And now the intruder alert has gone away. However, the oxygen is very low. We have 6% oxygen because I've drained it all from the ship except this one room. We're really safe if we just sit here forever, but as soon as we step out, watch how fast his life goes down. Leoncito's dying. Oh no, Leoncito, I can save you at any moment. I won't let you die, Leoncito, don't worry. But I'm gonna close doors, reopen these guys. And we wait for the oxygen to come back up. So how are you all doing? Who's watching anywhere? We lost Rob Bob. I take it you're still here, Arturo. I think Brian is playing Diablo while leaving this in the background. That leaves one mystery viewer. Who could it be? As you can see, it kind of replenishes slowly, but if you upgrade your oxygen system, it'll go faster. It's rarely a priority though. That's usually one of the last things I upgrade. It can be very nice to have it. Um, there are situations where it's nice to have your oxygen fill up very quickly, but it's kind of like an advanced strategy, I guess you could say. Is it pausing every time I switch out? I wanted to like check Windows. I think it is pausing when I do it. Yeah, it pauses. Okay, good to know. So it's not good for me to check messages in other windows while I'm just waiting for this to advance because it will not advance while I do that. Not for long. Leoncito says not for long if you keep sending me to rooms with oxygen. I actually just clicked a random guy. I didn't even know it was Leoncito. I just wanted to demonstrate the life bar going down. Okay, 82 is it. Um, so let's roll. Now, as you can see, I cannot jump right now because nobody's in the pilot system. So I can just hit enter and they'll all jump to their favorite positions. You can redefine their favorite positions, their home bases, whatever you want to call them. All right, let's keep proceeding. The funny thing is, as I'm explaining every little detail of this game, it's going very slowly. Normally, I'd probably either be dead or on sector 4 or 5 by now. So this thing is approaching pretty dangerously. I would like to go to the store. Stores are cool to go to. If you don't have a tremendous amount of scrap, though, you cannot do much. You can repair your hull for, it depends on how far you are in the game, but generally it's like 2 or 3 or 4 scrap per hull level. The way I like to play is kind of like, I won't say I ignore damage, but as long as I'm in this green level, I kind of just leave it alone. I don't worry about it. By that I mean, once you get hurt about a third of the way, your bar becomes yellow. And then when you're hurt 2/3 of the way, your hull meter becomes red. So I figure usually as long as I'm in the green, I don't even consider myself damaged in a sense. I just kind of don't care. Okay, so I'm not going to go to the store. I'm going to, sorry, I'm trying to readjust my windows here because I screwed up my alt tabbing or my command tabbing. All right, so let's go here and back here and up. So the store, yeah, what I was saying about the store is I basically don't have enough scrap to buy anything worthwhile there, although you can spend small amounts to repair hull as well as buy fuel and stuff like that. General rule for fuel is 10 or more, you're in great shape, usually. Yeah, that's a decent general rule. Sometimes I can stretch it a little farther, maybe 9 or so. But once you start getting low, you have to buy fuel because if you don't buy fuel, you cannot jump. You spend 1 fuel every time you jump. And what you have to do is you hit this wait. The jump button becomes a wait. You just wait there for something to happen. Somebody might come along to help you. somebody might come along to fight you, and then when you kill them, you can take fuel. Or if the fleet catches up with you while you're waiting, you have to fight the fleet. That's just how it is. Okay, so the last nebula beacon. Let's see what we find. A heavily damaged Federation ship is hiding in the nebula at this beacon. Before you have time to make contact with them, they fade into the nebula. So I can attempt to follow and help, or keep my position. I think this is the one where usually you need some kind of blue option like advanced scanners to actually catch up with them. But I'll hit one anyway and see what happens. Your search is hopeless. Your sensors can't pick up anything in the nebula. Alright, so nothing happened. I missed out. Where? Okay, so I can go here. That's a matter of, can I swoop down here as well? Probably not. See the distance between the white and the red rings here. That's basically showing how much it's going to advance in the next turn. But that's because I'm in the nebula. After I get out, it's going to move at a rate of about twice that each turn. So it'll probably go from here to like here-ish in the turn after. So basically, I think I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That might even be stretching it. So I usually like to play it a little bit dangerously, like try to squeeze out as many jumps as humanly possible. If you have to fight the fleet once, it's usually not the worst thing. It can be sometimes, though. Now I'm doubting it if I want to make that risk, because I am just kind of demoing the game. Let's do it. Alright, it's just an automated scout again. Low hull, no shield. Let's do it. Its weapons are laser and beam. Again, this will be a situation where I don't think it has enough laser to actually hurt me, but yeah, so only a one-shot laser, therefore it can't hurt me. So one-shot laser takes out one of my 2 shields, and then the beam cannot harm me because I still have 1 shield up. Ta-da! 1 fuel, 2 missiles, 11 scrap. And a bonus, the outpost hails you after the scout was destroyed. Thanks for the help. We've been harassed non-stop by those scouts. Take this on the house. Woohoo! Stuff. I like how everybody deals in scrap, like just random chunks of metal and stuff, I guess. And everybody thinks that's so valuable. But it kind of works because you destroy something, like, you know how like any kind of RPG-ish kind of game is. Like, say a fantasy RPG, you go and you fight a slime. Okay, I've slain the slime. You fight a rat, a giant rat. You kill the rat. Okay, now why are they carrying gold so you can buy better weapons? It doesn't really make sense. But so this game actually kind of sort of explains that by you're dealing with the carcasses of what you've slain in a sense. Just checking my Bluetooth headphone battery. I'm at a comfortable 90%, in case you care. So I'm at 52%, 52 scrap. That's usually around the range where you can start spending things. Engines are very good to have, by the way. I find a lot of new players underestimate the value of engines. If you look to the right, it tells you your dodge percentage per each level. Um, let's put it this way though. So I'm at 20% dodge or evade is what they call it. That's 10 from my engine level plus the guy manning it brings it up by 10, I guess. I think I have the math a little wrong. It might be the pilot figured into it as well. Anyway, whatever the case is, if you can avoid 20% of shots coming at you, obviously that means that 1 in 5 shots will miss you. As soon as you knock it up to say 25%, sounds like very little, but dodging 1 out of 4 is a big difference over dodging 1 in 5. And then you gradually increase another 3% or so, 28%. Before you know it, you're at like 40%, and it's like insanely good. Anyway, I guess my point is a lot of people A lot of newbies tend to underestimate the value of just totally negating any shot because that means your shield takes less damage, which means it's like a snowball effect kind of. Instead of your shield soaking up the damage, it's completely out of the picture. So subsequent shots are less likely to actually get through your shield. Anyways, with that said, I can upgrade my engines right now. By the way, sometimes here's a more advanced tactic that's not good while you're slowly explaining the game, but you can actually squeeze out, if you're desperate or you're just playing a little crazily, you can actually squeeze out energy or power, as they call it, in many different ways. Like you say, I upgraded the engines, but I didn't have enough money for the power. I could probably just take it out of the oxygen, and that sounds very dangerous, and it is. But if you shuffle back and forth the energy as you need it, you can actually really maximize your power usage. Because this dodge chance only matters when the enemy's shooting at you. So say I have it like this most of the time, but then the moment they shoot at me, I pause and I take out one in oxygen and put it in the dodge. Then I unpause and let them shoot. They either hit or miss, and then I take out that energy and I put it back in the oxygen. So it's kind of an advanced tactic. Anyway, I'm gonna up my engine by 1 so I can practice what I preach and upgrade my engines. But as you can see here, the power bars now cost 25, which is a little bit more than before. So 25 plus 15 is 40, and we're left with 12 scrap. Sometimes I do a purchase like this, and then I find a store and I kick myself because it's a cool weapon I want to buy. But I think it's a good move to do anyway. If there was a store right next to me, as the map is, I would probably check that out first, or possibly check it out first, depending on the location. We need to invest in the oxygen system. Leoncito, life matters. Is that your hashtag? Okay. You know what? Next time I'll just send myself in the anti-oxygen zone. Let's go. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, like I said. So if you, there's actually a mod for this game that my former coworker had. It lets you count the distance per jump. What I mean by that is, as you can see here, this isn't going to jump next time. So what about the time after that? Well, it's going to be around here. And after that, it's going to be around here. But what if you could see those rings on the screen, just so you can plan out your moves a little better? So there's a mod that basically does that. I never got that mod. In a way, to me, it's a little bit cheating because it's not how the designers meant it to be played. But it's cool in its own way, and I kind of get it. Really, if you want to, you could take a ruler to your screen and say, well, this is how far they jump. That means at, exactly 0.825 inches or whatever it might be, they're going to be right here. So depends how crazy you care about maximizing your moves, I guess. Okay, so this is a guy. Well, let's just read it. Upon completing your jump, you receive a message from a nearby ship. Greetings and welcome to our beacon. For a small fee, we'll let you continue on your way. What nice guy. So you have the option to pay their toll. I never do that. I just kill them. Too bad. You will regret this decision. Yeah, whatever. All right, we're paused. They have, what do they have? They have lasers or more lasers. Okay. They have one shield. Yeah, we're fine, yeah. Oops. So let's just blast these weapons to smithereens. Okay. So they lasered me. They could have taken out both my shields, but then they'd have no way to actually damage me. Their weapons are now fully gone. They have been repaired, partially. It kind of got disrupted, but I wanted to show that it was red when I first shot them, and then it reverted to that kind of orangish tan color. and that meant it was the orangish tan meant it was not fully damaged and not fully repaired, somewhere in between. So anyway, I have the option here. I can accept their surrender. I'll get 4 missiles, 2 drones, 13 scrap. I'm going to say no. 4, 2, and 13. Let's see if that's the wise move. See, here we go. It's in that state of being somewhere between totally out of commission and fully in good shape. And what that means is they basically can't power every weapon. So this one came back online, the smaller laser, and the larger laser is offline still. Sorry, I gotta get more water. I still have a little in my cup. Okay, let's continue pounding them. Since I don't have game sound, I could always go pew 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 whenever a laser is shot. But for next time, I'll figure out how to, you know, add both audio from the game and from my microphone. Okay, so basically what happened here is I got more scrap. I got 6 more scrap, but I got less in the way of other resources, which is usually how it happens when you destroy them versus let them surrender. All right, so I'm going to go up here and call it a sector. You receive a request. All of our military ships have been destroyed or damaged during the rebellion. However, there have been reports of a Mantis war camp only a few jumps from us. Can you help? So this is what they call a quest. A quest is when you have an event that says something has happened, you have to go here, and here meaning some other location, and you have to maybe fight a ship, or you just go there and then you get some free stuff. So this is a quest. Because I'm close to the end of the sector, the quest marker, which is where I have to go, the destination, will appear on the next sector. If I were more to the left in this sector, it would appear in the same sector. So I'm going to pledge to do what I can. Thank you. If you can just give us a count on their numbers, perhaps we can get the rebels to help. Added a quest marker to the next sector, and I get 24 scrap for some reason. I'll take it. Ta-da. All right, so now we go to the exit. Because like most things in outer space, there are exit signs. I don't know what I mean by that. That's just a bad joke. You've arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. Yeah, that's what it is, a long-range beacon. So these short-range beacons are letting me go from one little area to the next within the sector, but the long-range beacon is letting me jump. Doing a long FTL jump. Okay, so here we go. What at first seems to be a simple nebula is actually filled with a good amount of debris from a brutal exchange between several ships. Wreckage drifts by your screens and tumbles into the depths of the nebula to be lost to sight. Excuse me. It's hard to determine. Sorry, I'm starting to feel a little like I'm overusing my voice. So I might have to call it a show at like midnight or so. It's currently 11:38 here Eastern time. Anyway, it's hard to determine who the combatants were without closer investigation. Yeah, let's investigate. Again, that's my general theme. I check things out instead of ignoring them, except for those damn giant spiders. They are no joke. As you approach the wreckage, a slug ship makes its arrival. It hesitates for a moment, as if surprised to see anyone remaining, and then jumps away without a word. You resume scanning the system, wary of other visitors. Because that was nothing, basically. It's possible if I had one of the blue options, I could have had a different outcome. By the way, there's a wiki that maps out all these events. So if you want to maximize your bonuses, your rewards, or whatever, you can look them up on the wiki. I do that sometimes. I'm not going to do it this game. So now we have the sector map. We have not seen this before. It's a lot of green here. Maybe it's because I'm uneasy. I didn't think that actually changed. Anyway, so this is the yeah. As I mentioned before, there are 8 sectors you have to traverse, and then you fight the final boss essentially. But there's different paths you can take. Every time you do it, every time you exit a sector, you have 2 choices for where to go for your next sector. So it kind of branches out. Actually, it's not every jump. It's like if you see here, for example, if I were here, I could only go this one direction. If you had 2 choices every time, it would kind of branch out very widely, I guess. Anyway, so there's 3 different kinds. There's civilian, those are the green ones. There's hostile, which are the red ones, and nebular are the purple ones. Basically, I try to go to the hostile ones as much as possible because you can get into more fights in those ones, and you get more scrap overall. One thing we can do is go to, well, excuse me. Actually, if you pardon me again, I'm going to head back to the fridge. But yeah, while I'm walking there, there are different kinds of the civilian ones. So right now you see I have a choice between a civilian sector and a Zoltan controlled. I'm probably going to hit the Zoltan just because the first sector was civilian. And that basically means I'm going to run into a bunch of the energy beings known as the Zoltan. So if possible, I might run into encounters where I'll have to fight Zoltan. I might run into encounters where I can add some Zoltan to my crew even. The general idea is it will be Zoltan themed. The cool thing about having a Zoltan in your crew is they provide the energy. If you move them to a shield room or edge room, whatever, they provide 1 power into it automatically just by standing in the room with the system. Anyway, let's go to Zoltan. Okay, the Zoltan patrol their borders. Excuse me. That was attractive. Zoltan patrol their borders, but let you pass when you ID as Federation. Let's hope they won't be so courteous to the rebels. Rebel scum. Okay, so the quest marker is up here. It's not in the ideal location because I have to backtrack after going there. And again, I try to make every jump count, try to maximize the number of beacons I can jump to before the fleet catches up. So just the very fact that I have to double back and go to a beacon that I know has nothing, it means I waste 1 jump essentially. But the only other option is to skip the quest, and I don't want to do that because you usually get cool stuff from the quests. Okay, here we go. You find the Mantis encampment, but there are far too many of them to count accurately. Okay, so I'm going to come back with the count of Mantis ships and say there's a lot of them. That is the number. You send a long-range message back to the settlement with your findings, but unfortunately there's not much you can do. It would be suicide to attack directly, so I can leave or bombard their key structures with my missiles. I can't resist doing that. So basically it's saying if I choose this option, I'm going to spend 1 of my missiles from up here. Let's do it. I don't remember the outcome. Again, if I was playing super seriously, I'd probably just look it up in the wiki. You could argue that's cheating, I don't know. But I'm just going to hit it because it sounds good. I pretty much almost always choose the blue option if it's available. Sometimes you can have multiple blue options. You fire at their fuel depot, but a shot from the surface rips the missile to shreds. Oh, they must have a planetary defense system set up already. You try to get away, but a nearby patrol ship moves in to attack. Okay, I actually welcome a fight. Okay, so we're in Sector 2, so the ships are going to be a little stronger. Again, we have 2 lasers. One of these might shoot more than 1, though, so it's possible they'll get hit. So what do we want to do? I think I'm just going to do my basic, use the laser and save the missile until I see reason to do otherwise. One shot, and that one, oh, that one shot 3. I could actually, I'm pausing. No reason to pause, but I'm pondering how this is going to play out. Most likely, one shield will get hit. This meter here is showing this shield that was taken out is replenishing. It takes a couple seconds, so it is about 80-ish% to replenishing. So basically, I think I'm going to absorb 2 of the shots and take a third, but it's possible the evasion here will kick in. It's at 25%, and I might actually avoid getting hit entirely. So let's see what happens. Okay, I think I kind of missed what I was looking at their side, and then my I think they missed me at least once. It might have been twice. So my shield is still in good shape, and it's about to, the second level is about to charge up very soon anyway. So I think we're good. I partially took out their weapons, so this weapon here is disabled while this one's still running. And I'm just going to probably leave it like this on auto fire. Thanks for watching me on this late Saturday night. It's not really that crazy late, but now that I'm an old fart and I have a baby, it feels very late. The baby woke me up at 5:30 in the morning the other day. And her demand was, first she was crying, so you have to obey the crying. And you come into the room, when she's in her crib, she's standing up, leaning against the bar, and she looks at me and said, "Shark, shark, do, do, do." And anyone who's ever watched or anyone who has a baby knows the video Baby Shark. That's your way of demanding Baby Shark. Shark, shark, do, do, do. So that's a lesson in baby language for the day. Anyway, with the patrol ship destroyed, you hasten to leave. It won't be long before the other ships catch up. 3 fuel, 1 missile, 28 scrap. Okay, so we're doing really good with fuel and missiles. Scrap is doing fine too. I have to backtrack. Do I want to save money or spend anything? So right now, so here's one thing you have to do. You have to consider upgrading your weapons at some point. Because at some point, the enemy's shield levels, and maybe their engines too, are so high that you might not be able to harm them, and that is a bad situation to be in. So I have to consider saving scrap for weapons at some point. But currently, it seems like I can own them with only just one of my 2 weapons. Later, a little bit later, I might need both, which is why it pays to save these missiles. If you notice, I've only been firing the lasers, which have no ammunition. So I have 60 of the missiles still, and every time I win a fight without using a missile, that's more missiles I can use later for when I really need them. So for now, I'd say I have more than enough offense, since I'm not needing the missile. Therefore, I'm going to save money, scrap I mean, possibly upgrade engines again soon. For now, I think I'm just going to hold on to what I have, and in which case, if I find a store, I can buy something cool. Okay, so again, I try to go to the nebula as much as I can. Is it plural nebulae or something? I think nebulae. So I try to go to nebulae as much as I can, because every time you're in one of those beacons, the fleet pursues you at half pace. Still awake, Arturo? You're on the ship, you better be awake. Okay, so here's the fleet. I don't want to kind of go down here. Probably it seems a little close for comfort. So I'm going to go down here, here, here. And then go la 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 la, maybe something like that. I could, as I said, I'm going to go here, then here, then yeah, I think that works. Let's do it. Okay. So this is a Zoltan ship, but let me read the text first. Emergency, all ships in range. We are under attack. The frequency matches a nearby Zoltan ship. You move in on their pursuer. They take your intervention as a cue to jump away. Cowards. Wait, they're jumping away? Oh, the pursuer. I'll have to see what it seems like I'm fighting somebody, but it sounds like whatever. So there's two other ships involved in a chase or something. One of them jumps away, and I think I'm left with this guy. Sorry, I know I'm having trouble understanding. Okay, Sultan ship is saying they're under attack. Essentially, someone's chasing them. They take my intervention as a cue to jump away. So I'm left with the pursuers only, I guess. So Arturo said he's reading some legal documents on how to form a syndicate if you're a part of the crew of an Imperial spaceship. Oh, that's good to know that. Okay. And the captain keeps sending you into the oxygen-less rooms, I guess. It's good to know how to mutiny, probably. Or maybe you want to look into that. Okay, so this guy is going to be dangerous. I'll tell you why. Not like deadly, I have to run away dangerous, but he's probably going to pummel me a little bit. First of all, he has the Zoltan Super Shield, or whatever it's called. And that is a shield that takes several shots, but it's one time. So this meter here will decrease a little bit as I shoot down the super shield. And then I can get to the regular shield underneath that. In the meantime, it can blast me with missiles. And again, missiles go through shields. So you have to either take the damage or evade them. Or later on, you can get anti-missile drones, but I don't have that now. So basically, how I expect this to play out is I'm going to gradually knock down the shields. It'll probably get off about 3 missiles by the time I can disable the missiles. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll evade 2 of them. Probably not. Maybe I'll evade 1, really. But we'll see. I could get hit by all 3. I'm just kind of estimating it might not play out exactly like that. So then the question becomes, do I fire the Artemis missiles to get through the super shield a little faster, or do I still want to play conservative with the ammo? I say I have 16 missiles. Let's stop being conservative. So I have auto fire on. It doesn't really matter where I choose for now because the super shield's going to take the damage. But I'm just selecting the weapons because that's kind of my default. Okay, the missile hit me right here. And that is in the shields, which is bad because we want to repair that ASAP. We don't want to have weakened shields for very long. Although, okay, I actually broke through the super shield already, so that's a good sign. It'll be good to repair this, so I'm going to do that. But at the same time, this thing. Oh, let me think. Was this just a one-shot laser? If it was, it doesn't really matter that I'm out of the shield for now. And having these two guys in their proper stations, so Leoncito's going to fire weapons a little faster. If I don't have Leoncito in here, my weapons fire up a little slower. And for Rob Bob on the engines, if I don't have him there, then I dodge a little bit worse. So I think it's better for me to keep these guys where they are. If the shield room here was on fire, that might be another story because the fire would spread. But kind of just what triggers the fire depends on the weapon that hits you and a little bit of luck. So it could be this missile doesn't actually cause fire. I think they all have a chance of doing it. Anyway, I'm kind of babbling. Let's just go. Oh, yeah, do we want to keep this missile going, though? Yeah, we can fire another missile just to be on the safe side. Okay, so I confirmed this laser only shoots 1. Therefore, the laser can't hit me, only the missile. I am now about to take out the shield with my missile, and then my burst laser will pummel their weapons. And I should be in good shape at that point. So let's see if I get hit by another missile now. Basically, I have, again, a 25% chance of dodging the missile. Well, he dodged my missile, but I didn't dodge his. So that stinks. Now my shields are in very bad shape. I have no shield. So that was a downside to not repairing my shield, is it was halfway to being eliminated. So I think I'm okay still, but I might get hit by one more laser before the shield gets repaired. So let's run these guys over to repair. Yeah, I'm getting hit by a laser. All right, so now we have a fire situation, which is not good, but it's not in the worst place. So we're gonna drain the oxygen, and the fire should go out. We'll open this one too in case the fire spreads in that direction. So we're actually taking some damage here. We're gonna be okay, but it's oh, so so just then what happened was we had too many misses on the lasers. So unfortunately, I didn't take the weapons out as well as I was hoping to do. But at least these shields are about to come back online, so we'll be in good shape in a little bit. Okay, we have a shield now, so we're okay. I'm going to close these doors in the meantime. Okay, so they want to surrender. I'm going to kill them. Okay, thank you, Rob, Bob, and Leoncito, for repairing the shield. You can go back to your previous stations. All right, so now we're a little bit less lower in hull than I like to be. I still don't concern myself too much until I'm like in the red. But if I find a store where I can get repaired, I'll do that. I'll spend the scrap. But being economic with the scrap is pretty much the key to the entire game. So I try not to repair more than necessary. So now we have 108 scrap, which is a good amount. And I'm just going to hang out while I let oxygen replenish. What kind of syndicate are you talking about? I'm the crew of an Imperial spaceship. By the way, I'm not necessarily an Imperial spaceship. I'm part of a Federation. It's kind of a vague term, but Imperial sounds so Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine. We could be good guys. We just happen to be not the rebels in this situation, right? Not every rebel is good. I guess that should be obvious, but in sci-fi stories, that's usually not the case. Okay, so again, we want to swoop through these nebulae and try to maximize our jumps. So I'm going to go here, down, down, blah, blah, blah. Oh, good, another Zoltan ship with a super shield. You jump just in time to witness a Zoltan ship's FTL drive overload. In his final moments, their captain implores you not to get involved, but it's too late. Their attacker is already upon you. In this game, there's a lot of it. The flavor text saying like you just wander into a battle, and you can't fight two ships at once in this game. The engine only supports one. So the story is always something like one of them gets destroyed or one of them flees, and then you have to deal with the pursuer or something like that. Or it could be like there's a whole fleet of them, but for some reason you only have to deal with the one ship. Okay, so now we have to evaluate. Always pause and evaluate unless it looks obviously like a cakewalk. This is similar to before. They have two of the lighter lasers. Again, I'm kind of rusty on how they visually look. These are probably going to shoot more than one each. If they only shoot one each, I'm totally good. I say it's probably not the best situation. But once I get through the super shield, I should be able to disable the shield decently, disable the weapons decently. Of Question is, do I want to basically lay on the missile as well as the laser? Yeah, let's just do it just to be safe. Okay, they shot 2 lasers at once. It's only okay. So I wasted the missile because each of these 2 lasers only shoots one, and I have 2 shields. So I didn't need to like rapidly break through this super shield by using the missile. Both of their lasers missed that time, thanks to Rob Bob's engine duties. Also, the pilot is involved, so I get credit too. By the way, every time you dodge, you advance in your skills here. For example, this guy, Rob Bob, he advanced in engines a bit because he dodged successfully. So I can get a butt ton of missiles right here if I accept the surrender. Again, I usually prioritize the scrap. That's so many missiles. uh, but do I necessarily need that many? This is me talking myself into killing people mercilessly. Mm, all right, I do know that I'm going to take a bathroom break real quick, and I also know that I'm going to take off this headset, lest you accidentally hear me. Yeah. Anyway, let's not accept the surrender. 15. So basically, with 8 missiles, 2 drone, and 15 scrap. Let's see how it turns out by killing them. Most definitely will not get the missiles. And I've decided I'm gonna keep playing even though it's 12. Okay, let's see what I get. 3 fuel, yeah, so no missiles. I kind of stuck losing out on 8, but I did get a lot more scrap. And again, I do value scrap more than missiles generally, unless I'm low on missiles and the missiles are instrumental to my offense, basically. Right now, they're kind of nice to have. That could change as the enemies get more dangerous. Okay, so I'm taking a bathroom break. It'll be just 1 minute. Please hold on. Okay, I am back. Sometimes in a multi-hour stream, nature will call. So let's Keep going. We have 142 scrap. So when I usually play this game, I play on hard to maximize the challenge because I'm a badass. No, because I just beat it too much on easy and such. And also the game keeps track of your um, high scores per difficulty level. So I like to, you know, go for the best. Try to get the highest score on hard. So basically, you get a ton more scrap on easy. Like I can't believe how easily you can get to the triple digits. Like you kill a few enemies and you're into this. But on hard, it's like so like each of those encounters where I get like 20 something scrap, or then I kill a guy and get like 18 scrap. On hard, it's like you get 4 here and 6 there. It's like they're very stingy with the scrap, but everything costs the same. All right, so we're going to do this nebula visit down here. Then we're going to go wee, something like that. Thanks for hanging out with me on Saturday night. I don't get to hang out with anybody really, except people that I love very much. To be clear, my wife and my baby, and I like to virtually hang out with Rob Bob. And Saturday night I look forward to because I can stream stupid stuff. There's nothing here save for vast swirls of gas reflecting rays from a distant sun. Okay, so nothing here. As you can see, again, the fleet is very close, but going slowly. So I'll make ground. Don't worry. Your crew are constantly looking out the windows, checking for hostiles. They jump at every creak and moan of the ship. The tension is almost palpable. I wanted something to happen, not tension. All right, so now I put a little distance between the fleet and me. Distress is always a good thing to check out. So I could always do that and then go this way like that. You arrive to find a lumbering Zoltan freighter with no one at the helm. It's a mystery what happened to the crew, but it'd be a shame to let the opportunity go to waste. And again, it's like you think that you're getting scrap or anything. Now, did they have a bunch of scrap in their cargo? Or did I just go, a ship, let's just take parts of it. So anyway, 25 scrap. Hooray, we're at 167, and here's a store. Ooh. Now for the first time, you get to see the goodies that are in the store. Now, often when I see a store, I like to consider the path. Can I visit other sectors while looping around to the store and not really like double backing? So the point is, again, I try to maximize the number of sectors. And if I see a store, I try to think, can I visit more sectors? Because sectors give you scrap, essentially. Not always, but there are opportunities to get scrap. In this case, there's not really a way I can do that, so I'm just going to go straight to the store. But for example, if the store appeared where I'm selecting now, I could maybe go this way, opportunity to get more scrap, and then up this way, and then continue along my merry way. So let's see what Arturo says. In my head lore, well, my head lore is the ship had no scrap in the storage. We ravaged it for the lulls. Sure. Let's go with that. A mantis crew here was hunkered down in the abdomen of a long dead space whale. Huh. The only way, presumably, for them to operate their black market trade without detection. Worth a look. See, again, I kind of got used to skipping over some of these flavor texts. So when I would see a store, I would just go, yeah, yeah. And I actually don't remember the long dead space whale containing a mantis crew operating a store. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so here's a store. Sometimes you can buy weapons, sometimes you can't. In this one, I can hire crew, but not weapons. But I can also buy systems. And I can sell stuff. And there's nothing I want to sell because I don't have anything extraneous really. I have weapons that are useful to me, and I don't have extra junk. But in the buy tab, there are definitely some good options. You can buy people or hire them, I guess, because we're not dealing with slaves here, at least not right now, I would hope. So I often don't pay for a crew, honestly, because you kind of tend to gather them as you play. You run into encounters where you find them. Speaking of slaves, one of the encounters is there's a slave ship, and you can buy from them. Or, as I like to do, is I fight the slave ship, and then they surrender and give you a crew member. Is it still slavery in that case? I don't know. I don't like to think I participate in slavery. So maybe they want to join me because I will let them operate freely or something. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. But generally, I prefer to buy systems and weapons over crew because I tend to get them anyway. But what do these crew do? This is a mantis. Mantis are good fighters, but they're poor at repairing damaged systems. It's very good to have good fighters on your ship for when you get boarded. It's good to have a mantis and or a rockman or two because they're both good fighters in different ways. This is the Zoltan again. They power system just by standing in front of them. They also blow up when they die. The thing about that is it's double-edged sword. They can kill the enemies. They can kill your own guys. They blow up and damage people when they die. Anyway, recruit a cockroach. You really want to see the mantis, huh? A cucaracha. Las cucarachas entran, pero no pueden salir. Um, okay, anyway, I think I'm going to go with the system, although you probably want to see the cockroach. So the question is which one? The mantis does look more like a cockroach than anybody else, probably. So here's what the things do. Drone control. If I get a drone control, I can have drones. Drones are like that dude we saw in the thing we saw in the first encounter that was zapping me. This particular drone control actually comes with a free drone, the Fence Drone Mark 1. The Fence Drone Mark 1 will shoot down missiles. They are very good to have. So, for example, you saw a couple of battles where I was susceptible to missiles. If I had a drone that could shoot them down, I would have been safe. They don't shoot them down 100% of the time. Sometimes they just miss, but they usually do get it. So that's a good option. Crew teleporter is good too. These are all very good, by the way. Crew teleporter allows you, it's actually very fun to do this. You can board the enemy ship with your own guys. However, to make sure you have the edge, it is good to have good fighters. How do you get good fighters? You can have mantises and or rockmen who are inherently good fighters. The mantises deal more damage and the rockmen have more hit points. Or you can train up guys. So if I get boarded a lot and I fight people in the med bay like I did earlier, that could mean they train up their combat skill and therefore they can if I board with them later they're likely to overpower guys that they fight. But the way I am right now, I'm not really well equipped to do more boarding. If I did get the mantis, I would be in better shape for that. I think I'm gonna not do that though. I feel like when you send two guys at a time in the teleporter. And right now I could have one mantis. Now I'm starting to think I'm talking myself into it. One mantis would be halfway there to having a good boarding party. Cloaking is pretty much the best thing in the game. I mean, that's debatable, of course. It costs 150, which is a lot. I have 167 and can't afford it. If you have cloaking, though, I would say if you have cloaking by the final boss, your odds of beating him increase tremendously. But even along the way, it helps quite a bit. What cloaking does is there's a period of time in which you are basically unhittable, more or less. Yet at the same time, your weapons can charge. So what you do is say, as soon as you see the blasts fire out of the enemy's weapons, you cloak. And depending on the level, you're cloaked for either 5, 10, or 15 seconds. And basically nothing can hit you. It's not entirely true. What it does is it cranks up your evade by a great deal. So if you have 25 to start, as I have now, this would, like you see on the right, it adds 60 to evasion. So it wouldn't be 100% evade, but it would be 55, which is pretty damn good. Eventually, as my evade over here from the engines climbs upward, it can actually be above 40%. In which case, the 40% plus the cloaking 60 bonus would add up to 100, and then nothing can literally hit me for these small periods of time, to be clear. So that is kind of essential to winning. Not essential to winning. It is very helpful to winning. You can definitely win without it. That said, I feel like I'm leaning towards a drone control right now because I could have a nice defense drone. I have 8 drone parts here already, so I can use the defense drone quite a bit. And I don't know, just what I'm feeling right now. I think I'm going to go with that. And to be clear, there's going to be many more opportunities to buy cloaking and other stuff in the future. Usually there is. And I'm having doubts though. Okay, I can't sit here all day while you guys wait, so I'm going to get a drone control. Ta-da, I have it now. No going back. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to repair my hull up into the green, which is just a few more. So I hit fix 1, 2 scrap per each repair. Okay, I'm up to green. That's where I usually like to go. Because again, I play this game as trying to squeeze the value out of every scrap point, the most value as possible, basically. So I kind of value having more scrap than getting my hull to 100%. If I'm in this, usually the way it works is with this amount of hull, if I get taken out, I was going to get taken out with all the hull anyway. Drone plus Mantis? Okay, I have a viewer who really wants to see the Mantis in action. Again, I usually kind of wait till I naturally get them by encounters in the game, so you don't normally have to buy them. Or you don't always have to buy them, I should say. But I have some serious demand for a Mantis, so what the hell, I'll just go with that. Okay, we have the Mantis named Yevon C. And while I'm at it, I'm going to buy 1 fuel. I don't really need to. 10 is on, like I said earlier, like 9 or 10 is where I feel like I should be at all times. So it's like, do I want to just buy one just to keep myself really well stocked? Some people might be like, why are you even agonizing over these tiny things? Well, I don't, that's how I am. I guess I kind of like to micromanage things. I'm going to buy 1, and then we'll call it a purchase. All right, we have a new crew member, Yevon C. Should we rename him? I don't know if you can rename him once you start the game, actually. I think it's only at the beginning. So what do we do with him? We're going to put him on a system. Just like the pilot, the guns, and the engine, it is good to have somebody in the shields at all times. Because that makes your damage shield, not damage shield, but when one of these shield levels gets knocked down by a shot, there's a little bar here that has to fill up before it recharges. Just having a guy here manning the shields makes that bar move faster. So that's the advantage of that. Also, he's going to be my token combat guy. If, say, somebody boards my ship, I will definitely involve the Mantis if possible. Which is why you don't want to put the Mantis, say, at the pilot seat, because you cannot leave the pilot seat safely, usually. If you leave the pilot seat, watch, your evade goes down to 0 because you're a sitting duck or a sitting pato. So you don't want to have a guy running around doing things if he's also doubling as the pilot. So for example, if I have the NG, and another example, the NGs are good repairmen, so I usually don't have them as the pilot because they want to run around repairing things as needed. Alright, let's continue. We have 16 scrap. We can go, I don't know where I said I was going to go, but we could go here, 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 here. Now again, if I had that mod, I could measure out how the fleet is going to progress more accurately. Right now I'm kind of winging it. See, the question becomes, do I want to try to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps, or just play it safe and do 4? And again, I usually kind of push it to the limit, and sometimes I get it wrong. But for now, this is the obvious jump. Let's do it. Oh, we're in an asteroid field. Always fun. Oh, and we have a super shield. You arrive in an asteroid field and are greeted by a Zoltan guard. By attempting to access these closed mining fields, you are in violation of the Natural Mineral Protection Act. Your weaponry will be confiscated for processing. You don't have time for this. Okay, so we're in an asteroid field. What that means is there's constantly going to be asteroids, not constantly, periodically, like every 5 to 10 seconds. I think it's kind of random, but that's the ballpark. An asteroid's going to hit both me, not at the same time, but me and the enemy. And that'll take out a shield or do damage if the shields are down. So that kind of weakens our positions for both of us. On the plus side, since the super shield is a little bit of a pain and it does not replenish, the asteroid is kind of more of a benefit to me. It'll take down their super shield faster and I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the fight, basically. So, that said, let's start. Oh, what weapons does he have? He has this laser, it's one of the bigger ones, and his beam. They could get through my shield because the asteroid will be helping them. I could enable my defense drone. Do you want to see that in action? Oh, I forgot to buy the. Okay, I need to buy the power for it. Again, I can get a little crazy and say, well, I can take out the. Maybe I don't want to use the Artemis, and I can always get by without oxygen for a little while. I know it sounds crazy, but it really is pretty normal to make that kind of optimization in this game. But do you want to see that, or should I just play normally? Normal, whatever normal is. All right, let's just go. Let's aim over here. As you can see, the asteroids are already knocking down their super shield a bit. Yeah, so 5 to 10 seconds was definitely an overestimate. It's more like 2 to 3 seconds probably. Okay, so I'm in good shape. I survived that first volley. I weakened their weapons. Their super shield is out. I did not have to waste a drone part to fire up the defense drone. I did not have to waste any missiles. I didn't have to turn off the oxygen. Sorry, Arturo. The chat is a little bit delayed from what I'm doing in real time, so it's too late. As I mentioned previously on my streams, I can adjust the latency. I was having some difficulties that I don't know for sure if they were related to the low latency or not, but I'm using normal latency right now, which means there's about a 30-second discrepancy, roughly, between what I'm seeing and what you're seeing. Okay, the ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material: 3 fuel, 1 drone, 29 scrap. Okay, so actually here's something interesting. There's a way to kind of cheese the game here. They might have fixed this. I think they did fix it. So basically, anytime your shield is recharging, the guy manning the shield advances in his skill a little bit. And every time something misses you, as you're seeing right there, the engine guy advances in his engine skill a little bit. So I think this is something they removed. If you're sitting here completely safe, except these occasional asteroids are slamming into your shield and or missing, then you can just kind of wait while your guys train up to ridiculous levels. Just kind of wait here forever, go have a meal, have a beer, take a nap, do some jumping jacks. Hopefully not all those things at once. But I think they decided to remove that feature, if you will. There are definitely situations similar, though, that you can get into. Like, say you are fighting, say you're fighting an enemy who cannot get through your shield ever, because say it only has 1 laser and you have 3 levels of shield. At the same time, you can repeatedly fire at it. If you only use 1 of your 2 or 3 or 4 weapons, you can fire at it and not kill it. You can just leave it on auto fire, and your guy manning the weapons will ramp up his skills forever until he is maximized. And at the same time, his shots will damage the enemy shots will damage your shield, but it'll never get through to you. And your shield guy will train, and the occasional miss will train your engine guy. So you can actually do that, and I have done it. Definitely boring for a stream for sure, but you could just sit there waiting and come back later, and suddenly your guys are all highly skilled. Anyway, that said, let's keep going. Should I try to measure this out? Let's see, one, two. I think I should just keep it to three. Hmm. I kind of wish I had that mod. I never had it, but my coworker, my former coworker, was streaming actually. He was inspired by my streaming it actually, and he's like crazy good. And anyway, he showed me this mod, and it was just so cool because it's like you don't have to guess if you're gonna actually make it to the exit or not. But maybe that's part of the fun. So I am going to one. Either way, it's four. Unless I go with three ones. Let's just go for the three. I don't know. Again, I'm just trying to maximize everything, all my number of jumps, and then I agonize over these tiny decisions. Okay, so we're gonna have intruders on board, so it's good to have a mantis. Although there's a good chance I can just use my previous tactic of hiding in the med bay anyway. The only issue now is I have four guys. They can't all fit in the med bay, which only holds three. Anyway, let's read the text. You catch a glimpse of a strange signal coming from a space station before your sensors shut off unexpectedly. If you discover that your sensors are being jammed, you hear hostiles beam onto your ship. Until you are able to jump away from the hostile space station, your sensors will be disabled. You should deal with these boarders first, though. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, we can't see them. That means they're not in any of the spaces that you guys are in. However, down here you can see they're pounding the drone room and the sensors. Okay, so what'll be the plan? I'll move one guy to the doors, perhaps. Why do I want to do that? Because right now I have level 1 doors, which anybody can walk through. If you put a guy in the doors, then they become level 2 doors. And the level 2 doors have to be broken down. They can't pass through freely. They have to spend something like 10 seconds breaking through them. There's multiple levels beyond that. I guess there's one level beyond it. One or two. But this will take him to level 2 while this guy's in the door. And then I'll put these three guys in this room probably. So this is how I want to play that. So it gets a little harder to sense when you have more crew because you can't just cram them all into the med bay. But the stronger doors will help, so let's do that. Okay. Okay, so one of them is actually in the drone room right here, which we knew, but somehow I didn't really correlate that with the geography. And we can open a bunch of these. Pause again. Oh yeah, too bad. I was gonna say you can hear the multiple lasers shooting at once, which kind of implies there's probably at least 3 of them, maybe. But you cannot hear them on the stream, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. I'll try to resolve it for next time. Okay, so every room is gonna have. Let me think this through a little bit. We want to have one room where this guy can duck into if they break into here. So again, 3 here are filling up the room. Strangely enough, when they come into fight, it doesn't. We each have our own limits. So I can fit 3 guys in here, and they can fit 3 guys in here. Yeah, I cannot fit 4 guys in there. It doesn't make sense really, but whatever. So basically, my idea is again to crowd in here, and if this guy gets attacked, there'll probably be 2 guys in the room here if they make their way here. I can duck him over here, which I doubt anybody will be hanging out in, given the fact that we see that the sensors are being pounded on and the drones, which are these 2. So I think this room is probably not going to have any bad guys. All right, all that said, let's go. Okay, they destroyed my sensors, unfortunately. This 1 means it took out 1 hull point. I can repair this easily, but the hull point sucks a little bit. Whatever. Oh, I didn't open. No, I did open the door. Okay, sorry. Okay, they're trying to get in the room with the sensors, the doors, I mean. So this guy's gonna have to run away shortly. Actually, I could put the mantis here to help out. Let's do that. Okay. So now, here's what's happening. It's a little chaotic, so I just put on the med bay. These guys are going to trash this guy while getting healed in the process. Just the fact that there was 2 versus 1 meant that they're going to win anyway, but now they're going to get healed while winning. These 2 guys are Mantis and Human versus 2 humans, so they will prevail barely. But one trick I can do is kind of move guys into the med bay to get heals, switch them out. So I've really got the upper hand here, basically. Okay, I'm good. That was that, I think. Okay, so there's no oxygen here, so it's not die. All right. So yeah, we're all good. We just have the only really bad outcome of the whole battle was this 1 hull damage from the sensors getting trashed. Okay, so this guy, I should call them by their names. W is getting healed, and everybody else is fully healed. We have to do repairs. So Lancito, who's our repair guy? Is it Lancito? Lancito, you're our main repair guy. So here you go. I could repair faster by having 2 guys on it. Um, One thing actually, I kind of like really kind of go for the tiny optimization in this game. But one thing I'm not sure is, so say I put 2 guys on a repair job, they will go faster. But it's not clear to me if they sort of divide up the experience in the repair, or do they both get the benefit? So that's some little micro detail I'll have to look into at some point. Okay, so Leoncito can fix it. Yes, you have fixed it, Leoncito. Thank you for your bravery and hard work. QA power. Okay, it's getting rather late for me. 12:30. I'll play a little more. I think I'll just finish this sector and I'll have to call it. Kind of crazy to me. It's taken about 2.5 hours to do 2 sectors with the way I'm over explaining everything. Hopefully it's interesting. We've had a steady viewership through the stream, so I guess somebody finds it interesting. although Rob Bob had to go to bed, but yeah. So let's keep going until we complete the sector, I guess. You arrive at a Zoltan. Oh, this one. A Zoltan research facility. They say they are researching genetic distortion due to stasis sleep and prolonged FTL travel. They ask if your crew has the time to undergo a few scans. Let's do it. Participate in the study. Oh no, as soon as you dock, the pirates burst on board, and a hostile ship appeared on the radar. You hear the Zoltans yell in the distance, "We're being held hostage." You could have said that before. Okay, so this is going to be a little tricky because we have intruders on board and a ship to deal with, and that ship has missiles. So, what do we do? Well, for one thing, it was definitely a good call that we have a Mantis, so thank you, Arturo. Because dealing with the intruders is a lot easier with the Mantis. And while juggling a ship, it's going to be a little bit ugly. I could fire up fire up the defense drone to deal with the missiles. On the other hand, I'm pretty confident that because this ship, the enemy ship, has only 1 shield, that it can knock out their weapons pretty quickly. So I don't think I need to fire up the defense drone even. It might save me from taking one missile hit. I'll just fire it up because I haven't shown what it looks like. So let's do that. Okay, so because my sensors have not been taken out, I get to see all the rooms and I can see where all the bad guys are. It looks like we have 2 right here attacking poor Leoncito. We got a Mantis and a Zoltan on top of him. Okay, so I'm gonna fire up the defense drone just to show it off. taking out oxygen. Don't be scared. Question I'm juggling and what question I'm considering right now is to disable the missile, or do I want to fire one missile? Disabling the missile would allow me to pump one energy into the shield, engines. Let's, with this on, shooting down the missile and the two shields for defending against the laser, I think I'm in good shape defensively. And I don't think I have to worry about their taking out their missile super fast. But I might as well just do this anyway. I'm gonna do that. Shoot the laser at their weapons. Now to focus over here. What should I do? Mantis, Bolton. They're gonna kill him unless we move. I can't just run. I could do my usual kind of strategy, actually flush them out and hide in the med bay. The issue there is I don't have these guys manning anything. In the meantime, it's probably worth it anyway, though, because these kind of when you man these things, it's kind of a marginal boost, and we want to just make sure we kill these borders before it gets ugly. So I'm going to do the movies, three guys in the med bay. Keep piloting though, because I want to have some chance of being able to dodge. And I'll flush out all these areas, oxygen-wise. Hopefully we'll meet here and fight, and that'll be that. I'm actually going to flush them out now, even though these guys might take a little damage, because I want the oxygen to get over here as fast as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to lose power in my weapons. Okay, so let's do it. And we have to, we might want to turn on the med bay once the enemies get here, though, so I'll have to juggle power a little bit. Okay, so they're going to stop firing on the weapons once the oxygen is completely depleted. Excuse me. Okay, so they took out 1 point of my weapons, which is okay because now I have 2 power instead of 3, but I'm only using 2. So we're kind of good there. And these guys are going to run over here. Here comes the missile, and my defense drone here is going to shoot it down. Pow. Now that we're fighting in the med bay, I'm going to turn on the med bay. Okay, so we're in good shape. The intruders have been defeated, their weapons are disabled. Now we just have to get rid of this oxygen madness situation and repair the weapons in due time. Of course, their weapons can get repaired by their crew that we can't see. See, like it just happened actually. But I'll be pummeling this enough repeatedly that it should be well under control anyway. Oh, the oxygen's still off. Sheesh. That was a mistake. Okay, now we play the waiting game. We can return guys to their stations because the oxygen is safe now. The oxygen level is, as long as it's not this kind of red and pink flash, they will not take damage from the lack of oxygen. So, by the way, Leoncito is repairing once again. Okay, you take out the ship and contact the research station, 2 missiles, 1 drone part, and 24 scrap. Thank you for rescuing us. They held us hostage to ambush unsuspecting passersby. Please take this. More stuff. Woohoo! Hull repair drone. This is a drone that actually goes around your ship repairing it. So this hull meter will climb up. I remember not liking that. Is that the one that you pay in scrap as you use it? No, it's not. There's something that is kind of scrap powered, so you actually lose scrap as you use it. I thought it was this one, but it's not this one. This one is good because you deploy the drone and it fixes 3 to 5 damage to your hull, and all you spent is one drone, I guess. So that's cool. So I'm just waiting for oxygen to replenish. Again, thanks for joining. FTL is the game, one of my favorites in probably the past decade, which is kind of saying a lot because a decade is a long time. On the other hand, I don't play a ton of games. You might think I do, but I don't. Some people actually. My wife once told my neighbor that I have practically every game system. The neighborhood, not my neighbor, my neighbor's grandson who was visiting. She was talking about video games. She was like, "Oh yeah, my husband has like every game system." And I'm like, "You don't realize I've never owned any of the major. Some I've had a couple of Nintendo systems, but basically the three major branches of consoles. You got Nintendo, Microsoft, Xbox, and PlayStation. I've never owned any Xbox. I've never owned any PlayStation. I've had a couple of Nintendo systems. So I was like, don't go telling everybody I know every video game on Earth. Anyway, so I guess what I'm saying is I probably haven't played hundreds of games in a decade, but I've played, a decent amount. And this is probably one of my favorites of the decade, I would say. This is from 2012. So it seems pretty new to me, but it's already 8 years old. I can't believe it. So now we just go to the exit. Will that be it for us? I kind of want to keep playing, but I think these babies get up early. I don't necessarily have to be up right with the baby if my wife takes care of it, but shouldn't be sleeping for like hours beyond that point. Anyway, we have some missions to accomplish here, right? Alright, a rebel space station and single fighter is monitoring this beacon for Federation activity. A number of civilian ships are docked, awaiting inspection by the rebels and a possible detainment if they are Federation loyalists. The rebels haven't noticed yet. I can one is fend you for yourself, attack and escape, bribe the rebels to release the civilian ships, stay out of their way, and charge your FTL drive. Excuse me. I don't like buying my way out of situations. I don't like running away from situations, except for the giant spiders. That leaves us with number one. Okay, we have a rebel rigger. It has one little laser. Okay, I think we're alright here. Just gonna blast it with some lasers again. It would be nice to get our hands on some more weapons, by the way, just to show them off, just for a change of pace. Ooh, I did a lot of missing right there. They really only shoot one laser. They shoot one laser, and I have two shields, so they should flee. They are not smart enough to flee based on being overpowered. Some ships flee when they are heavily damaged. Actually, some they are programmed to flee from the beginning. So what happens is it says you sense their FTL drive charging, and if you don't want to do escape, you can take out either their engines or their pilot room. Some of them actually inform the fleet of your location if they escape. What that does is it doubles the fleet movement for the next turn. Okay, so we killed it. We get one missile, one drone, and 31 scrap. It's amazing how much scrap we're swimming in. Just because, again, I'm used to hard difficulty, and it's like, so you get 31 scrap in one shot on hard. It just doesn't happen. Okay, so here we are at the exit. We can upgrade something or just fit tight for now. If I'm wise, I will log off now, but let's at least see what's in the next section. Okay, we can go to NG, Homeworld, or Civilian. These are kind of boring choices to me. I like to see more red stuff generally. However, now I have the choice. I think NG is a little more interesting than Civilian. Civilian is the same one we started with. We could see some NG then, which are the robot guys who repair things well. However, from there, we don't see any red sectors for a while. If I go up here, it's green. Down here, it's green. And then from here, we'd have another green and blah, blah, blah. Basically, I'd rather see a red sooner than later. So I'm going to go for the civilian sector. And again, if you want to maximize your scrap, especially when you're playing the hard difficulty, you need to squeeze out every drop of value from every scrap point you can. And you want to hit that. Excuse me. You want to hit every red sector you can when you're playing hard. But whatever. Let's just go here. Ooh, thanks again for watching. I'm glad the stream has been stable. I have had recent issues in the past. It was streaming from my phone. My phone seems to have trouble maintaining a Wi-Fi connection compared to every other device in the house. So, whatever. Welcome to a new sector. Get to the exit beacon and jump to the next sector before the pursuing rebels catch you. What a generic message there. It's like, yeah, that's basically how the game works. I understand that. Okay, here we have a lot of nebulae. However, it is not a full nebula sector. Why am I saying that? If I crawl through these nebulae a lot, I will be able to go through a lot of them because the fleet will have a slowed pursuit. However, if you go to an entire nebula sector, basically the whole sector is full of these nebula beacons, but they make up some BS reason for, well, the fleet can still see you anyway in this sector because of reasons. So anyway, this is kind of like the best you can get as far as having a lot of nebula in one sector. Okay, so there's a store here. I would like to hit the store. I have 117. What I was alluding to earlier was what I could do is go for one more jump that's not out of the way before hitting the store. And then I can go down here through the nebula, maybe hit a lot of these like that. Probably not up here, but maybe down here, there. I don't know if I can do all that, but that's the general idea. Okay, so first let's go here and try to get more scrap before we hit the store. Oh, okay, looks like I found a kind of a hidden store. Sometimes they don't show up on the radar and you find stuff like this. You're immediately hailed by a mobile docking platform upon arrival. Welcome to Uncle Joe's Fix-It Shop. This might not be a store, actually. This is actually a special event, sorry. Well, sometimes those do turn into stores, the special events, but I don't think this one is it. So anyway, welcome to Uncle Joe's Fix-It Shop. Need a tune-up? We got you covered. Inquire about their specialty. Right, this. Okay, this thing is basically, well, it's what it says is they offer to upgrade your oxygen system in exchange for some scrap. Yeah, so what you get is kind of a random upgrade from this event, and the scrap price is cheaper than you normally pay. So it's a good deal. Part of me says I rarely care about the oxygen system being upgraded until later on, but I could get a good deal. But there's a store right next to me, and it's good to have tons of scrap for the store. So which one should I do? I don't know. I'm tired. I'm just gonna get the upgrade anyway. Okay, so I have an upgrade. It costs 18 instead of what is it usually 20? I can't see the previous price. I think it was more than 20. Might have been 30. Leoncito's life back. Okay, I'll have the oxygen for you, Leoncito. So now we can go to the store. And hopefully I don't regret spending the 18 scrap. Traveling merchant shows you his wares. Okay, so there are people, there's a crew teleporter, there's a second page of the cloaking. Second page has some weapons. Alright. I don't get super excited by either of these weapons. Let's go over what they are. This is a hull beam. The beams we've seen, those are the red laser-like things that are like a solid beam. Um, I don't tend to use the hull weapons. Anytime you see hull X, like hull beam or hull laser, that means it does more damage if you target a systemless room. So you hit a room that does not have any system. It doesn't have the shield, doesn't have the weapons, and you get to do more damage if you avoid the systems, basically. But to me, there's so much value in taking out the systems that I pretty much never hit the hull. I could see some situations where if I had a bunch of hull weapons, maybe it would be beneficial to focus on the systemless rooms and just kind of destroy them through brute force in a sense. I have never done that though, so I'm not going to get the hull beam. Also, in general, beams are not my favorite. Um, they can definitely be good in some cases. There are some very strong beams, like the glaive, does a ton of damage. And I mean, I shouldn't say they're not good. They're actually quite good. I generally think I do best when I have tons of lasers, mostly just plow through all the shields and deal damage. But there's definitely something to be said for beams. However, this beam, nah, not my thing. So the question is, do I want this heavy laser Mark II? This heavy laser fires 2 shots in quick succession. So this one deals. So here's the thing: when you have these do 2 damage each, which is good, but it's only 2 shots for 3 power. So if it was 2 power, that might be pretty good. 3 power is a lot for just 2 shots. And the thing is, even though it does 2 damage, if it hits a shield, it's only taking out 1 shield at a time. So the extra damage becomes kind of moot on every shot that hits a shield. It's good when it gets through the shield, though. But for 3 power, for only 2 shots, meh. I kind of ultimately feel meh. So I will probably pass on these weapons, which takes us back to page 1. I could buy a crew teleporter. Here's the interesting thing about teleporting. You actually make more money that way by destroying a ship by not destroying it. If you board their ship and kill all the crew members, you get more scrap than if you blow up the ship. It can be difficult to board effectively, but it is the most efficient way to make scrap if you can pull it off. There are certain ships that are easier to board than others. If they have a med bay, then they can constantly run their guys into the med bay to get healed, and you're in trouble. However, you can actively shoot the med bay while your guys are boarding, and that helps. Okay, I'm getting a request for a crew teleporter and an army of mantis. Yeah, it is good when you can board with 2 mantises or 2 rocketmen or a combination of them. That's when you're on. That's when you're on top. Yeah, basically what I was trying to explain was crew boarding can be tricky, but once you do it, it's the best way to make scrap. It can be frustrating when you lose crew members due to a sloppy mistake. Maybe you could actually make a huge mistake if you like I was saying a second ago, you can shoot the med bays out while your guys are fighting on the ship. If you're careless and you shoot too many times and blow up the whole ship, you lose all your guys who have boarded the ship. So if you do that, you're in trouble. And you might have to that could be like a game breaker right there. If you lose 2 guys and you only have say 5, I only have four right now. If I lost two guys right now of my four, that would be devastating. You cannot use, this is another question from Arturo. You cannot use two teleporters in four mantis, and you cannot have two teleporters. However, there are, I can show you sometime, and maybe another time. There are some ships, I think they're only mantis ships, in fact. So if you saw at the beginning of the stream, I was in the ship selection screen, and there's all different ships for the different aliens. There's like the NG ships, the Zoltan ships, the Mantis ships. Some of the Mantis ships start with a teleporter that's a four-person teleporter. So you can actually zap four people at a time and totally wreak havoc on the other ship. So basically, if I buy a crew teleporter right now, it's going to appear in one of my rooms that can hold two people. But some of those Mantis ships are specially designed that they can hold four people. And that's if you have a Mantis ship, the ships are kind of designed so that boarding is part of the strategy. Anyway, let's just go with the crew teleporter. We can't probably use it. We can't really use it too effectively right now. We could try. I would feel more comfortable with more crew members. We could actually though board with one Mantis and one other guy. I would be hesitant to do it immediately. But we could buy the crew teleporter for now at least. Okay, we have it. Do we want to fuel up at all? We'll get one fuel and then spend a little bit on repair. Okay, I'm in my green level, which is my threshold that I'm happy with. So that's it. Here's our teleporter over here. If I see a situation where I'm confident I can win by teleporting, I'll demonstrate it. Otherwise, I'm gonna hold off. So again, I should wrap it up. It's almost one. I guess I might as well just go to one, which means we'll do like one more jump or so probably. By the way, I can just turn this thing on. That's kind of cool. So watch, I probably shouldn't even have paid for that repair because look what I can do. Here comes the hull repair drone. Okay, now I have extra hull. I just spent one drone in the process. So that's cool because I can bypass spending scrap, assuming I'm not paying tons of scrap just to buy drones in the first place. Yeah, actually, if you think about the cost of that, look at this. Going back to the story, it's costing me right now 2 to fix one, and 8 to buy one drone part. Okay, it about balances out. So that means it would cost one drone part is about equivalent to paying for 4 direct repairs. So the drone randomly repairs 3 to 5 damage. So basically, if that 3 to 5 random number is a 4, then it would balance out with the scrap cost. If it's a 3, it's worse. If it's a 5, it's better. Alright, we'll do one more jump and then unfortunately I do have to wrap it up. I'll try to board if it seems feasible, but it might not be. I might not even find a fight, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to go into the nebula. Okay, so this is not a ship you want to board, because this is the automated kind of ship that does not have any oxygen. And what happens if I board a ship without oxygen? I die. I have these guy that I told you about, my former coworker who was crazy good at this game. I actually saw him. He was boarding these drones, these automated ships sometime. I forget how or why. I think he had the teleporter level so high that it was able to. So basically, the way the teleporter works is You teleport the guys to the other ship, and then it has to recharge and take some time before you can bring them back. And I don't remember the number of seconds. Say it's 20 seconds for a level 1 teleporter. Maybe it's not quite that, but whatever. As you upgrade the teleport to level 2 or level 3, that time period is lower. So if you have a level 3 teleporter, it takes maybe 5 seconds. So my coworker, he was kind of attacking these ships with boarders, and then with his high level teleporter, he was able to bring him back to heal up from the oxygen, from the lack of oxygen. So the suffocation hurt the boarders, and they zapped back home and healed up, and then he zapped them back onto the ship again and repeat. So I was wondering why he wasn't just shooting them. I'm trying to remember the reason. He was damaging the systems, but whatever, fine. He was just kind of having fun, I guess. I don't think that was a good strategy for that. Anyway, let's redetect the tangled wrecks of many ships wait in dormancy here. You see lights flicker on what looks like a debris. A rebel scout bursts out of the wreckage. Okay, so what do we have here? We have this beam drone on top of us, and he has a heavy laser. We're probably fine. Let's just shoot some lasers again. And no, I will not demonstrate boarding here. Oh, look at that. Sometimes your lasers shoot the drones. It's kind of just a rare occasional thing. And it just happened. It's like when it almost happened again. So as you can see here, the laser shoots, and if this drone happens to be right in this path, the drone is killed. So I'm going to shoot the drone room just to take out this annoying drone, even though he can't really do anything. I only slightly damaged it. I just want to see this drone go to sleep for no particular reason. It went to sleep. Sweet dreams, enemy combat drone. Shot it. It fell asleep right in the path of my laser. So we had two instances of the laser shooting the drone, and this time one of them was this time it was asleep, or disabled, I should say. Okay, it's dead. More scrap, 42 scrap sheets. By the way, there's a really cool augmentation you can get. I haven't found any augmentations yet so far. The stores sell them. You can get them randomly through encounters. But there's one of my favorites to get, especially early on, is the scrap recovery drone. The scrap recovery drone increases all of your scrap awards by 10%. And as I like to say, I believe the game is a scrap management game more than anything. And if you're on hard especially, you really need to squeeze out every ounce of scrap you can. So if you get the scrap recovery early on, then throughout the course of the game, you're probably getting like a couple hundred extra scrap just for having that augmentation. Anyway, I am tempted to keep playing, but 1 o'clock has to be my limit. Sorry. So that's it for me. Yeah. Let's see who's still on. We still have 3 people. Thanks for sticking with me all this time. We had a pretty steady viewership, about 5 people most of the time. 4 some of the time. Now we have 3. And yeah, so next time. Oh, wait a minute. What was this? Medius. Huh. I think I might have found the way to enable the game's audio now that I'm signing off. Anyway, whatever. No, I did not find it. Sorry. So I'm just babbling. Okay, so that has to be it for the evening. Thanks for watching. I might play it again. I might continue the same game next Saturday for Saturday night surprise gaming. Saturday night, not Vectrex in the not dark. Vectrex may be working next week. I don't think I'm gonna have all the work done, and I'd be happy to play this game again anyway. FTL is a great game. You can get it for Windows or Mac or iPad even. Yeah, just for iOS, but not for the phone because it was difficult. It would be too difficult to squeeze all the UI stuff into a phone screen. But it's on iPad. Uh, yeah, that's about it. It's definitely worth getting. It has and the developers of this game have been amazing because they added expansions and did not charge for it at one point. They add updates that tweak bugs and everything, even down the line that barely anybody's buying the game anymore, but they still make improvements. They add so many different languages. You can, at the beginning when you start the game, you can choose between like 10 different languages. Um, Not that I really use that feature, but that's really cool. They put a lot of effort into this game, and it's like I don't know how many people involved. Not too many. I think there's only two designers slash developers, and they hired one guy, Ben Prunty, who's pretty well known in indie games at this point. They hired him for the music, and this is a total indie success story game. Definitely an interesting game. It can be frustrating if you don't know what you're doing, but it's something definitely worth playing time and time again. I've been playing it since I think I got it the year after release, which was 2013. Something I pretty much played hundreds of times. If I check in Steam, it tells you how long you've played ever. For me, I played it 385 hours. So I have played this game. How many days of my life have I sunk into this game? Well, 240 hours would be 10 days. I'm not going to do the whole math. I probably spent over 2 weeks of my life without sleep playing this game if you add it up in that sense. Which makes me feel like I need to find better hobbies. No, but this game is awesome. Just sometimes you think of it, the cumulative time, you're like, wow, I, did I really put that much time into it? But hey, if you're having fun and it's worthwhile, who cares? So that's it. I will resume this game probably next time. I have not given up on Vectrex, and I'll definitely resume to that. Hey, maybe we could do another stream on Friday. We could have Friday FTL, something like that. Just an idea. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely recommend buying this game if you don't have it. Uh, what is the price? I don't know offhand. I think it was about 15 when it was new on Steam. The iPad version is probably cheaper. And as always with Steam, you can wait for sales. They usually have a sale every season, and the older games usually get heavily discounted. So it's possible you might be able to get this game at something like 75% off, and therefore it would cost you just a few bucks basically. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Arturo. Thank you, anyone else. I don't know who else is watching. Brian, if you're still watching. uh, yeah, so oh yeah, just to be clear, I don't think the Vectrex will be ready. Oh, it's $5. Cool. Yeah, definitely worth $5. But yeah, so yeah, Vectrex will probably not be functional again for next Saturday, so I expect to just resume this particular game. We can start getting through Sector 3. Hopefully, I can move a little faster. I know I'm explaining everything in detail. Hopefully, that's enjoyable. I like to explain what's happening as well as some of the strategy and tactics or how I think about the decisions I make in the game. So that's why it's so slow going. You can generally probably, if I'm playing alone, I can, and assuming I don't die, I can probably get through all 8 sectors in probably 2 or 3 hours. Don't quote me on that. And this stream has been 3 hours just getting to the beginning of Sector 3, so it's kind of really slow going in that sense. But hey, it's fun to explain it. Oh wait, I better wrap it up. So thanks again. Until next week. See you then. Have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Have good food. Play good games. Uh, don't forget to drink your water. I'm gonna have some right now. Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. Make salsa. I have several jalapenos that I'm gonna make into salsa soon. This stream has gone off the rails. Okay, that's it. Bye. Good night.